Hey everybody, welcome to 20 Sides Every Story. I was just pulling up the Twitch and saw myself trying to fix my earplug. Um so hey, we're gonna get started here tonight with our game, and we are playing some Spelljammer. So I'm gonna go through a couple quick announcements for the channel just to hit all the basics, just like you need to hear every time. But just in case you're new and just want to know a little bit about what we do and how we operate, and then we're gonna get started with the game. And I think let me try the other ear. I think this ear is going out on me.
Oh, thanks for the jams, man.
One of you
Or the
say
ear
something.
pod, not the well, I'm hoping it's the ear pod and not the ear itself that's going out, right?
Well, it might be that too. My eyes are going.
Glasses and a hearing aid.
I
It all
know.
catches up with you at once.
Aw.
And I'm telling you, I definitely have. I'm feeling it, feeling the age. Okay, so hey, so welcome to 20 Sides Every Story. As I said, we are going to be playing some Spelljammer, and like I said, I have a couple things to hit. First thing is the Discord. So if you are new to the channel and you want to follow along, listen to some of us, or join like the watch party that's usually going on in the Discord, or just talk to people, come on in. Also, if you like the way that most of us are playing the game, or if you like the way we play our other games in the channel, we do a community campaign that pulls from the Discord. It's no charge, no cost, no sign up. There's no catch really. You just got to have a mic and a stable internet connection. So if you're curious to hear a little bit about that, jump into the Discord. There's a whole section around it. It is run by multiple DMs, and it is a lot of fun. Alex is the channel owner here. He's playing one of the players in the game tonight, and he kind of created the concept of the community campaign. It's how I got involved originally, and it's a good place to be. So come on in and hang out. Other than that, our schedule is also in there. So if you are, oh, whoa, got a woo. Thanks for the subscription. Empty archetype. Oh, Robyn.
Sweet, sorry.
It's okay. I couldn't hear it though, so that's it's okay. I'm not hosting. Yeah. Okay. I can just power right through the woos now. Anyways, if you I forgot what I was talking about. Whatever. So
Oh gosh, you were supposed to ignore that.
That's perfect. It's okay. It's the way things go. I'm also through one of my cocktails, so I'm already feeling it. So let's go ahead and get going for the game. Party, I'm going to give you a quick recap of what you were doing last time. I know we were talking a bit about it. But the context for you were trying to meet up with one of Crux's connections, Major Warwick. As a GIF, he was on the moon, Arun, trying to make peaceful negotiations with the Artuk people, one of the factions that exist in Doom space that we think could be like has the ability to stand up to the Xaryxians. Unfortunately, when you got to the planet or got to the moon, you found out that Warwick had totally bungled it and basically insulted the Artuk people, and they were trying to capture him, and he was in the middle of running away, and you helped him, and by doing so, you also murdered an Artuk. But thankfully, half the party has a charisma score over 20 or something, so you were able to talk yourself out of trouble. There were some inspirational speeches going around. There were some extra sort of role play aspects that allowed you to peacefully resolve the Artuk situation. But right before you were able to really make any further headway, you heard the stomp, stomp, stomp of one of the creatures that's famous on this moon, the Tarrasque. So this moon has several Tarrasques in it, and you hear the stomping. All the Artuks skedaddled. They left you though with the representative, and so the representative that's coming with you, I don't know how much language was put off because I can't remember who all could understand who at this point because of the language differences. But this Artuk is coming with you, probably a good sign for negotiation potentially. He's at least leading you, or it's leading you to the ship as the Trask is coming down. So I have one important question for the party. Do you want to fight a Trask?
No.
My audio is working, so I'll think this is a no. Silence, no way. So if you're not going to fight a Trask, then I'm not going to drag this out because a lot of other things are going to happen tonight. And I will say that you can make it to your ship. You will be able to jump on board. Warwick will be running for his life, and you have an Artuk companion who might help you with some negotiations down the line. But as soon as you clamber aboard the ship, Warwick is going to engage you. And I guess for the sake of kind of consistency, we'll kind of jump through. You hear the Trask, you hear the noises, you see the water shaking in your cup. I would like each of you to describe your character level and how are you reacting to the Trask attacking you. We'll start with Alex.
Would you like to repeat that? I have my own Tarask that I can hear.
What? Just describe your character's level and race and all that, and then how would you react as a character to hearing the footsteps of a Tarask?
Okay, so I'm playing Zephistopholes. He's I think we're level 7, Thrycreen Ranger. How would he react to hearing the Tarask? So, I think that he probably, has the automatic like fear response that the rational actor would. But he also is just looking over his shoulder as he's running back to the ship because he would like to catch a glimpse of it or at least be able to brag to people that he has seen a Tarask. So I think that's what he's doing. He maybe is even lagging behind the others just a little bit in hopes that he might capture that moment where he might see it.
All right, we're going to do a luck check.
Oh, shit.
I know those don't exist in D&D. You got to roll under your charisma. Roll a d20. Under your charisma. I'm using charisma as a placeholder. What'd you get?
I rolled an 8, which I think is under. Yeah, I have a charisma score of 10.
That's under. You have a charisma score of 10. The 8 is under, so you're kind of curious. And yeah, you lag behind a little bit. You peek over your shoulder, and you see just the snout of a lumbering Trask towering over the forest as it's coming into view. Fortunately for you, you notice that it is still really far away, and which is even more impressive that you're feeling like the thundering steps. And you see it as it just like dives its nose into the forest and comes up, and you see a couple Artuks just go flying in the air, and then crunch.
And I'll take a moment to admire that with my kids.
So you do that successfully. And we will pop over to David. Talk to us about your character. What's going on? What do you think when you hear the Tarask coming? You are muted, David. Oh no, David. It was working so beautifully.
Just me pressing wrong buttons. Yep, I play Ichabod. He is a bard from the College of Eloquence. He's an ooze. Plasmoid, technically. So when he hears the thundering steps of the Tarask and knowing that that is what inhabits here, he has probably some scholarly interest, but nowhere near as curious to see one as Zeph. So he's going to grab his top hat and just start sprinting and yelling like, "Time to go!" And I think our Artuk friend would still understand me because I did that universal language for 1 hour, so I can't understand him. He can understand me, and I think the Thrycreens have been kind of the translators with their telepathy at this point.
That is right. So you will make it on your back and like time to go. And as soon as you say that, the Artuk is like rolls into a ball and like just goes turbo mode towards the ship, and is ready to like jump up on the ship. But when it gets to the end of the ship, it grabs hold of the ladder and just kind of like with one of its little like starfish hands is like indicating for you to come, and it's like trying to like steady the ladder for you, the rope ladder. All right, and then Robyn, tell us about your character. Same question.
Yes, I am Ichabod's sister, Placebo. I am also a plasmoid, and I am a monk, Way of Mercy. Placebo probably feels the pounding, stomping of the Tarask, like reverberating through her ooze nature, and her first instinct is to stand and defend, but she hears her brother say, "Time to go," so she will beat it as fast as monks can beat it towards the ship.
Yeah, and that is very fast. So in my description of the situation, you're actually already on the ship before the Arctic gets there. So you're gonna outspeed. And when you get up on the ship, you're gonna run into the other inhabitants of the ship, Sleepy, Sneezy, and who all I've got on the ship. All the different NPCs that we've cobbled together. Thankfully, I killed the Umber Hulk, but
Aw,
no, that's sad. That was the saddest one. I felt guilty about that.
you should.
Because I just straight up did kill him. But anyways, but yeah, you'll run into Grimzod and he'll say, "Whoa, we have to get out of here," and he's like freaking out about like the Trask, and trying to like get you like get everybody up on the ship.
Yes, we should help the others. We don't want to leave without them.
Okay, I guess the captain technically is still not here.
Yes, that we're not leaving without the captain.
Although you do have a backup.
We're not leaving without the captain.
All right. And so he will go grab a hold of like a crossbow, like feebly, and just like prepare in case the Trask shows up to like give it a shot. And then that'll lead us to Ryan, your character. Same question.
Yeah, Ryan Garthok. I am playing Koraz, the Hive. He is a 7th level sorceress of the Aberrant Mind variety. He's probably bugging out a little bit, I want to say. He's a Thrycreen also. And he's probably watching both of his friends go jiggly for like a second, and he's hearing this thing, the crunching of wood, and I want to say that he bolts really fast, and he probably does some moves that you guys have never seen him do. Like, for instance, he probably attempts to like run on all of his legs, so he gets like all the way down on these little legs, like running, and then having seen the Artuk kind of do the tuck and roll, and not being really of sound mind ever, he's probably going to be doing a little bit of that every now and then, where he's like, "Oh, I can roll, and then it doesn't work out, and he like gets back up and starts running."
Yeah, you're the last to get to the ship actually, because you keep like rolling and going to 0 speed and then like getting back up. But yeah, you're like full bug mode. Like you're literally just bugging out, running, and you'll be the last one to grab a hold of the ship. The Arctic is there, and it's like like really like get off the ground. You don't know it's saying that unless you're communing. But then you get up, and it just like you both climb on to the ladder as the Trask comes into view. Now you're fortunate enough that you feel like the Trask far enough away that if you pull up and out, you're going to get away. And that is a captain decision. There's the two hanging onto the rope ladder. Do you pull into the air? We can't do that because you're the pilot.
Yeah, we can't leave till Koraz gets
no.
in his Professor X wheelie chair.
Oh no,
Spelljammer.
Koraz. All right. Gosh, now I gotta look up a stat block for the Trask. Look what you've made me do, rather. All right. Let's pull up Trask. I'm just seeing if they have like a way to shoot fireballs or something. I feel like they can do something weird.
We're trying to break the record of how many spelljamming ships we can destroy throughout the course of this adventure.
Okay. So Trask do not have. I thought they had like a fire beam or something like Godzilla, but it looks like no. So you will be okay. You'll get away. But you will get up into the ship, and basically, as you're climbing into the ship, you'll see this Trask that has like climbed up on the plateau and is like roaring in the air and like just trying like chomping trees out of the ground and just acting crazy. But you'll be able to pull up, and as soon as you get up and like settled away from the Trask's direction or the area, Warwick will kind of like plop down and just say, "Oh, well, that was a big failure. Another one in a string of many, unfortunately."
We have
Crux is. Oh, go ahead.
we have one more than we had before. And I'll point to the little guy that came to the ship with us.
He like does like a little fist with his little tiny pseudopod hands that come out of the starfish arm. Not at you, at Warwick.
They didn't kill us, and we like killed one of them. So that might be a good sign for later.
Have you as well? You survived. That is not a failure.
Yeah, and Crux will say, "Oh, you did so well. Yeah. I can't believe we made it out alive." And
Ichabod's going to introduce himself formally to the Artuk on deck and ask him what his name is, even though he won't be able to understand the answer.
great. So you do that. He understands you, and he will just make a couple of clicks. Hold on, I'm trying to look up Artuk names, and it came like artwork names. I'm like, yes, give me the name for artwork. Like Mona Lisa came up as an option. Like, okay, searching for this.
The
Anyways,
scream.
yes, like, yeah, I don't know, whatever. I don't have any names for these guys. I'm just gonna say he makes little clicky like leaf noises and like little clicks. It sounds like not so much like mouth clicks. It sounds like twig snapping and like leaf rustling. It sounds like the language of like someone moving through the forest. And he'll just give you a little brief burst of that to give you his name.
Well, very, very nice to meet you. Would you be offended if we just called you Snapper, since you make those lovely snapping sounds? I'm afraid I won't be able to pronounce it perfectly, so perhaps a fond nickname is in order.
It listens and just kind of like nods its little starfish. Actually, the starfish is not its head. It's like heads in its starfish body. So I'm like really describing exactly accurately, but it'll kind of like you could see like its head pops out just sort of like is talking to you, and it'll just sort of like make like a you have a high insight. Seems like yes, that's fine. Snappers will work.
Well, Snapper, I would really like to help your friends who seem to be under attack by that Tarask. But you know that's of the immediate concern. But we also want to speak. If you are going to be our representative of your people, we need to discuss a possible alliance against the Xaryxians.
He just sort of stares at you again, like this. He's like splayed out as a starfish now, with or kind of like up like a almost like a hand with a little head sticking out of it. And he just sort of looks at you. It can't shrug, but it just doesn't seem to respond much to the statement. And Warwick will intercept and say, "You're not going to get them underling like him. There's a strict code of honor with the Artuks. But having him with us could help."
Do you know? Have you met with their leader, Major?
Like he looks at Crux and technically no. I was trying to gain an audience, but I failed to get in front of their leader. But I did learn something. I learned something I think useful that we could use maybe as a way to gain some leverage to speak to the leaders. He's looking to see if you're interested.
Yeah, and that is?
Well, you see, I couldn't gain an audience with any of the leaders of any of the factions in this entire system. They are too concerned with fighting with each other or preparing for an attack or escaping from Doomspace.
It really looked like you were doing a pretty bang up job getting them to cooperate, though.
Well, the Artuks, yes, they cooperated against me for sure, but getting an Artuk to cooperate with a Thrycreen, no offense, or Hadozi, no offense. He's looking around to see if there's any other like species that like match up to like the different factions. Mr. Flynn just shrugs and smokes a cigar. There's another matter. It's you see, there's no love for each other in this system ever since Firene was destroyed. It's been kind of a splintering. But this is what I came to tell you, or what I wanted to tell you. Have you heard of a man named Vokath? He's a bit of a power broker in the system. He's a Mercane.
Oh, we have heard about a Mercane. Is that the one we heard about?
So you know him?
I think we know of him, but not much.
You see his hope like rise and then fall. He says, "Well, you see, Vokath is a Mercane. Mercane in this region and elsewhere are known for their monopoly on Spelljammer helms, and weapons, other magic items. And as you might surmise, with all the distrust with the factions, they have been buying a lot of things from him on credit. Do you see where I'm going?
If we work with this Mercane, we can perhaps call in some debts. And just to be clear, I don't think Ichabod was on deck when the Gith came by on the dragons, so he doesn't really know anything about the arena or anything that the others would know. He was below deck writing his like speeches. So this is all kind of news to him. I don't think he had even ever heard of the Mercane necessarily, now that I think about it.
Well, you might have shared it. I don't know. Your call if you want to retcon that, but
I would have told you, because we need to go to the arena. We told them we would go to the arena and meet them there if we're bored. So it was very exciting to see them riding those dragons.
And they seemed like worthy allies, honorable sorts, the Gith that you encountered.
Friendly. And one was wearing very strong looking armor.
They're very hip.
Well, it seems like we've already made perhaps some acquaintances among Vokath's soldiers, so that bodes well. And we have a map, so we can probably get there without too much trouble, hopefully. And Snapper, you're willing to join us? I think having as many different races and species along will just continue to show that we are many people together, stronger as many, coming together as one group.
You hear like the sound of like rustling leaves get louder and louder, like any crescendo, and then the big crack.
Excellent.
Now, I just want to check to see if I'm understanding this. This Vokath is potentially making, well, maybe not making a lot of money, but he's profiting from this conflict that all these different creatures have, right?
Yes. Who could say that?
So convincing him
So
might be...
why would he want them to get along then?
You could see like Warwick like kind of look a bit puzzled, and then he'll say, "Well, I mean, that's for us to convince him, right?"
Is that truly what you want? You don't want us to kill him and then just take on all the debts. That is not what you're asking us to do, right?
You say that in like a flash of like you see this flash of like an idea dawning on him for the first time. And he's like, "You don't think that'd work, do you?"
Well, I mean, it's a capable plan B, perhaps, but I do think diplomacy should be our first attempt at using this Vokath and his resources for the greater good. If we can't appeal to him, with altruism, which it seems though that very few people are prone to do so. Maybe we can promise him, governance of Doom Space, or we can come to some sort of terms where he'll have even greater power in this area, but others will maybe have better odds of leaving if they don't want to remain.
He can provide all the weapons for the attack on the Xaryxis.
That's
He can
true.
be the provider for. We will get the entire army's weapons and spelljamming equipment from Vokath.
And if that doesn't work, there's always, you got a really nice place here. It'd be a shame if something happened to it.
Yes, but if you're telling me that he has Githyanki on Dragonback as part of his patrols, we may be out. We may be out of our league.
In plate armor.
Yes, that is. I mean, yes, that is. He seems that perhaps he would be too formidable to intimidate. So I
don't
do think
know.
maybe...
You're really good. I've seen you convince people of all sorts of silly things. I bet if you do the lean like that real good, you get right up to his ear. I mean, that'll probably work.
I mean, we could certainly try. We need to feel him out, certainly. What can you tell us about him, Warwick? Sure, he's a power broker and he's savvy enough to play factions against one another, but what else do we know of him?
Well, see, Vokath, he's more than just selling ships and spelljamming helms for almost next to nothing. Vokath's also responsible for rescuing most of the factions from Fiery when it was destroyed. He helped relocate them. You see, I think that even though he is a bit of a manipulator, I think he has a kindness to him as well. His base, he named it after himself. It's a moon. Maybe a bit full of himself. And most importantly, he enjoys blood sport. So he has a magnificent arena that he tends to spend most of his time with strange creatures from around Doom Space brought in to do battle. And
maybe we could make some sort of wager with him. If that could be a good plan B, we'll have murdering him as plan C. It just we just shifted over another
I did
spot.
not suggest murdering him. I specifically was saying we were not going to murder him.
Yes.
And I wanted to be sure we were not being asked to murder him.
Right. Nope. That is an excellent question. And
but we're okay.
Last resort. Plan Z.
Yeah, we were okay with like the implication of murder, though, if it needs to be used.
We're not going to murder him.
But it's the implication.
We've seen how heavy-handed negotiations tend not to go well, and he'll, as much as a creature without eyeballs can kind of glance over at Warwick, he will do so. So I think we need to, again, come at this with a deft touch, learn what he wants. If we are able to overthrow the Xaryxians, and he doesn't need to know exactly how we plan to do that, but it could certainly earn him some favor with people outside of Doom Space as well. So I think his buy-in would be minimal, perhaps, and his chance of reward could be quite great. But we'll have a little time to think on this as we make our way to his moon and his blood sport arena.
Zeph, have you ever fought in an arena before?
Oh, no. I haven't gotten around to that. It's been pretty low on my bucket list.
You are a fighter. I just thought perhaps you had experience in that area as well.
Once I started having kids, a lot of my dreams kind of fell to the wayside, and so. But hey, I guess there's a second chance for everything right here.
It could be a good family bonding experience.
That's true.
Might I suggest you save it for the last item on your bucket list because other things, it could be the last thing you do, or fighting a Tarask might also be on there. But again, it may be near the bottom of your list. There might be some lower hanging fruit, so to speak.
That's
What
true.
if that is the way to impress this Volcath, is to fight in his arena and show our superior ability?
That thought had entered my mind. We may have to show him that we are as strong. We're not just all talk. But again, maybe that's a plan D or no C. That'll be plan C. And you can see he's kind of like scratching his head, like kind of confusing himself now about the order of what they should propose.
I like plan Z.
Well, we will have to read the situation. That is all I will say. And as for, intimidating or making friends, I do have a spell that might make him inclined to like us, but it only lasts a short time, and then he will be angry with us. So I don't think I will be leveraging that.
You can combine two of our plans, making friends and killing him.
Yes.
We've done that one before. It worked good.
Yes, it's yes, but I also worry that if we kill him, who knows how many lieutenants he may have, or other people who will not let us leave alive. Leave the moon alive. It becomes a bit of a slippery slope when one sheds blood.
Well, it's good to know, though. Like, if you can make them angry, sometimes they do things that justify the whole murder thing, and murder feels so much better when you got a good reason for it.
Yes. Vindication. Yes.
Defense, definitely.
I mean, I just figure what better way to get everybody on our side except for saying, "Hey, everyone, you know all that money you owe? It's gone, debt free, and all this crap around here, you can have it too."
Yes, I definitely think it'll be a more efficient means of trying to pull the factions together rather than going as virtual strangers one at a time with promises. If we have something that we can offer them right off the bat, this does seem to be a very potentially profitable destination, and yes, it seems that there will probably be some bloodshed if it's called a blood sport arena or what have you. So
is that really what it's called?
That's how I have heard it referred to on multiple times.
That's pretty descriptive. Jeez. And it couldn't be like the Pegasus and potatoes arena,
Oh, I'd go to that arena.
One of those. Yes, that should be what you do when you retire. A new experience.
Oh, you don't think there's a possibility the arena is just like a cooking competition?
Hold on real quick. I need a few minutes to prep.
Yeah, we're going to be playing Overcooked, basically, in the second half of this game.
If the D&D mechanics made that interesting, we could go for it to make up some mechanics. So from what I understand, the plan is to murder Volcath.
Well, first we probably should just find him and talk to him.
It's not the plan, but
yeah, that's the result.
It's not the plan, but it's a possibility.
We've got like 25 other plans before we get to Z, but we often just zip right through them all.
It's a plan.
So
Major Warwick,
I made a token for him, so it's okay. You can kill him.
What would be the average person's opinion of Volcath? Is he seen as someone who has been helpful and kind, or is he resented for holding the power that he holds?
That's a good question. I'm gonna say, well, From what I can tell, no one holds any ill feeling towards him. He does um, sell them things for free or near free. He saved many of them from destruction. They seem to want to impress him, if anything, and I think he uh, takes advantage of it. But I don't get an animus. But we could try.
I
Like
wonder
I
if we
said,
need to be concerned about any charming magic from him. If it seems to me that if he takes advantage of people and they just want to impress him, that maybe he can cast some sort of glamour on folks. I'm not saying that that is the case, but something we may want to keep an eye on.
Maybe they respect him because he saved their lives and sells them things for very little cost.
I hope that's true, and I might have jumped to that conclusion, a couple months back before our planet came under attack, but now I fear that I don't always see the good in people anymore. Ulterior motives seem to abound here in greater, wilder space.
Irene destroyed. Has it been a long time?
oh, I'm sorry. Say it again.
Irene, is that the name of it?
Yeah,
That was
Firene.
destroyed? How long ago was that destroyed?
Well, let me check my notes. He pulls some notes out of his pack and he's like, let's see. That happened. Mm, I don't actually know.
Okay,
But-
I'm not expecting you to know every piece of information in Doom space.
But I do know that it is no longer inhabited.
Who destroyed it?
Dragons. But also, when the sun collapsed,
Xaryxians.
maybe. Maybe it's something we could use. Even if it weren't Xaryxians, you see?
Oh,
Right.
that
Since,
you
since
can
they
create.
tend to take. Go ahead.
No, Koraz.
Well, just since we know that they were affected by a collapsing star, we could, they,
Yeah, make
No,
our
we're-
own truth.
yeah, could help us. Although, it isn't that what they're trying to keep. The Xaryxians are trying to keep their star from collapsing by sucking the life out of everybody's planets.
Yes, I don't know that we've heard of them destroying stars, only planets at this point, but we can ask
Make
a
our own
friend.
truth. We could make it very creative.
I guess I don't know enough about Firene to. I'd hate to misspeak and then our ruse be seen through quite
With
easily.
the true truth, yes, that would be bad.
Yes, we would need to know the true truth before we can make our own truth, sister.
I will remember that.
Wait, so
Oh.
what truth are we on then? And what plan? I'm lost, guys.
Well, step one of plan A and all the other plans is to go to the moon of Volcath. So I think that is probably, we will need you to at least set the course in your spell jamming mobile chair.
Yeah, you guys are gonna feel the ship kind of lurch and turn and speed up.
Do we know
Aye,
about
aye.
how long?
Captain.
Do we know about
Yes.
how long it's going to take us to get there, DM?
It'll take a couple days, so you will get a long rest, which would be good no matter what choice you're making, I think. Especially the route I'm a little bit worried you're going to go.
Plan
it's
Z.
okay. It's plan Z is always the plan that comes out. If your last plan is the plan that happens.
Oh boy.
But anyways, yeah, you all get a long rest. So go ahead and rest up if you haven't already. What was the guy? Artok Weedling. What do we call them? Snappers.
Snapper.
Snapper. Okay, I'm
snaps.
gonna make him into a unique guy so that way if things happen, where is he? I can't find him.
How many NPC slots do we have for our party when we go?
Right?
Do we just have
only
like
take
one? Can I
one.
choose one, or do we get two? Can we take?
I mean, it is a
No.
4-person party. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. All right, where is this guy? What is he? A weedling? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yes. Otherwise, though, you'll be able to make it into. You'll make it over there in a couple days. So take a long rest. Anything you want to do on the trip? Are we comfortable with just a long rest? Okay.
Might do some fishing maybe on the trip since we got the time.
Yeah. Sounds like you're getting some culinary treats out of Zeph as well. So fishing. First of all, I need a survival check from the fishers. Wisdom survival. And I look this up every time, and every time I forget. Sorry, my 3-year-old is in the background having fun. In case you hear that. There is it. Where is this the fishing? I think the problem is it's hard to find it in the table of contents. Astral fishing, there it is. That's why it's hard to find. It's got a space name. So DC 15 for that check, and you hit a 6. Zeph. You know what though? You guys are gonna be able to do this multiple times. I'm just gonna abstract it. So give me 2 D10s, Zeph, and give me 2 D10s, Koraz. We're just gonna abstract how quality your fishing is. And the first one, you rolled a 7 and a 3. That was Zeph. So Zeph, you're gonna pull up a little small edible fish and a little teeny tiny edible fish, like an anchovy and like a trout. And you'll be able to pull a couple of those every day. Like you just keep finding kind of like small / tiny little fish. And then Koraz, you are going to also find a tiny little fish, but you eat one of them and it poisons you. So you thought it was edible, but it was something wrong, and you don't feel so good.
This one really looked good, so I ate it raw. It tickled going down too.
Yeah, you'll be poisoned for 1 hour at the point of time this happens in the trip. Fortunately, you will recover. But let's say that your fishing is not quite as successful as Zeph's. And then Zeph, you're making some treats. I will say this, pretty much no matter what happens here, you are going to want to make sure you're taking advantage of everything you have available to you. So just putting it out there that if you decide to try to kill the Mercane, or you try some other like combat type situation here, which I think is pretty much, I don't know. I won't say what's going to happen. Y'all are creative people, but there's a lot of bad dudes in this area. I'll just put it that way. So just a little tiny warning. And you would hear this from Warwick. He'll be like, "Oh, this place, it's where all the factions, they like to congregate and get drunk and bet on games, and maybe we can get an audience, but also maybe we'll get our throats slit. Be careful. They've got a thirst for blood."
Do they have a hunger for fish? Because I've got plenty of it. It could be a good gift.
Well, I will say the Thrycreen have a hunger for, and he'll look at Snapper, kind of like just move his eyes over to Snapper, and Snapper's like sitting there.
Oh.
So maybe we could trade Snapper in to the Thrycreen for some easy favor.
I think it's a great idea, but I think the others are going to have a problem with it.
It's not a great way to get us in with the Artuk either, you know.
Are our Thrycreen looking hungrily at our new companion?
That depends. Are the other Thrycreen, I never asked you this, are you from Doomspace? Because there is a Thrycreen colony here.
I'm going to guess not.
If you're not from Doomspace. If you're from Doomspace, yeah, you got a little taste for the Arctics, but otherwise, no. You're not. It's not a native. It's not a natural predator. Let's put it that way, or natural prey, I guess.
He's gonna
During the
sniff. He will sniff the Artuk though after hearing that. You know,
Mhm.
just be like, "Does he smell yummy?"
Well, what do you normally?
Maybe a little antenna waved over him. You know, when he's not noticing, just to see, you know, what he tastes like.
Well, give me a survival check.
Okay.
Not eating him. It's the implication that he might eat him.
it's always the implication.
It's always implication. Let's see here. You rolled a 7, 18. Oh yeah, you could eat this thing. It's like a plant creature, you know. Like I mean, it's sentient, but I don't know if you're. Yeah, you could definitely eat this creature.
So yeah, just on the sly, he's gonna like elbow Zeph.
You're
know?
going to get us in trouble.
You're gonna have dreams of Arctic kebabs tonight.
Oh man,
I can't stop thinking about it.
it's gonna be hard to make peace with these people if I keep getting whiffs of them.
So you'll be unbothered on your trip to this moon. Pretty much, will just be a nice little travel, and you will make it to Vokath without too much trouble. Vokath is a moon as well. This moon, though, is not hospitable to life. You will tell even as you kind of come into it. Starts to come off not the horizon, but like comes into view, right? That this is a planet with a swirling green gas. And Warwick will tell you, is like, well, it's a toxic planet. You don't want to go down to the surface. But fortunately, you don't need to, because Vokath has a base in the clouds. We just got to find it. And sure enough, after just a little bit of touring around the planet, you will see a fairly large structure made of gray and black stone, and with some crystals basically covering the bottom, like jutting out from the bottom of this facility. And it seems to be kind of like held buoyed on into by these toxic clouds, like above the toxic clouds, almost like a space station, but like orbiting like right on the atmosphere, like kind of skimming the atmosphere of the planet. And you will see that it is has several docks, some of which are filled with ships.
Yeah, before we disembark, I did want to say that over the past couple of days, Ichabod would have probably chatted up just about everybody, including our Hadozi first mate, whose name I can never remember, Flinch. Just trying to get any information he can about mercanes in general, and if anyone knows anything about Vokath, like in particular, like he'd be asking the princess, he'd be asking our vampire friend, he'd pretty much just at some point throughout like connect with everybody to try to see like basically to gather as much intel as possible about the individual and the species.
Cool. I won't make you do any checks, because I think that essentially you would like these are going to be people that are willing, and maybe more like them doing checks, right? Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we do it like this? Why don't we just use as a persuasion check with advantage as like a stand-in for like how much you're able to jog memory and like get people to tell relevant facts, like almost like an investigator or something. So give me not investigating it. Persuasion check with advantage. There you go.
27.
Oh my gosh. So they will know whatever they need to know. So the biggest thing is so about Vokath in particular, they know that Vokath is very intelligent. This is a very sharp creature. He's also pretty strong. He's a large celestial, but sort of giant-like. You would know he's a spellcaster, and he has a few bits of magic that he can use to escape danger. they would also tell you that, as sort of indicated by what you know, he has a pretty powerful cadre of bodyguards that are very loyal to him. And he also has a couple of things about him that I think you would I don't know who all would know this. Let me think of the confines of what they know. I think it's really kind of like the broad strokes what they would know. They would know that he's not someone you're going to just walk in and like pop in the head with a magic missile and be done. This would be a tough customer to deal with, and not necessarily because he's necessarily very powerful. He just is very slippery. So,
Okay, Ichabod would definitely share that with his 3 longtime companions. That seems like Plan Z is sounding less and less attractive, given what I've learned from some of our fellow crewmen and crew women. So I think the best we can do is be upfront and ask him what he wants and see if we can come to a mutually beneficial agreement, because it doesn't sound like we're going to be able to catch him, by surprise.
Grimzod will say one thing, though. He'll say, well, if you could get him alone, somewhere he could not cast spells, or if you could counter his spells, I'm sure we could convince him to help us.
Grimzod, you're staying on the ship. No, I'm just kidding.
Fine.
No, I didn't really say that, but we should decide, who's all coming. We'd encouraged the princess to stay on board, and I don't think we have any, the Hadozi isn't really gonna do much. So I think we have a couple of GIF, a Vampirate, and an Artuk that could potentially come along with us if it's allowed, if they want.
I think we should probably keep the Artuk away.
Oh,
Koraz?
yes.
There's a great,
Maybe
great
myself,
spot
too.
He can sit in the kitchen. It's really comfortable. It's warm, bubbling water. I set it all up for him.
Oh, I thought perhaps you guys weren't getting along, you and Snapper, but it sounds like you are trying to be accommodating.
Yeah, I
And
set him
he
up
just
a
gives a
jacuzzi.
confusing look to Zeph, like, well, why would we want to keep them apart?
In the kitchen on top of the stove,
Yeah. We don't eat friends. We don't eat allies.
Remember the things we vowed.
Yes, that was one of. I believe that was one of
Shit.
our rules.
Thou shalt not eat other crew members. I remember. We all take the same oath.
He didn't take the oath, though, so he's not a crew member.
So he can eat you, but you cannot eat him.
What? Wait a minute.
But that brings a bigger point. If Thrykreen are inclined to eat Artuk, then there may be other Thrykreen on this moon in the arena. So I think it probably does make sense for him to stay back as well. But I am in favor of, bringing some muscle along. We have two very capable gift fighters, and a Vampirate at our side might make us look. People might think twice before messing with us.
And as you're having this conversation, actually, are you having this conversation around any of the NPCs?
Probably not. I think we'd probably be having a huddle, like, hey, we're about an hour out. Who's all going to be coming?
I mean, I think that the GIF aren't gonna Crux doesn't like Grimzod, so he probably wouldn't want to be hanging out with him on the ship. So I think it's either take the GIF or take the Grimzod.
By the end of this adventure, they're going to be like the odd couple. They're going to get a flat together. The Grimzod and Crux show.
My vote is for taking Grimzod with us.
Yeah, I think so.
What about Warwick?
He acts like he knows a lot, but I wonder how much he really knows.
I think we can leave him.
He's
I am
just gonna
inclined-
throw a bunch of grenades around like his friend.
But at
He has
least
been known
we
to
know.
insult people.
But at least we know Crux. Crux seems like he's turned a corner. He's made peace with Grimzog. I think this would be a really good step. Again, the more diversity we show in our group, the more people will realize that we're part of a cause bigger than just one planet or one race. So I would like to bring either Crux or Warwick, and I feel like we know what Crux can do, and Crux can hold his own. So he would get my vote.
Yeah, given those two choices, I'd rather have Crux, I guess, than the new guy.
I'm actually curious what the other guy's stats are. I don't even know if he's he might be like a badass. Let's see. I won't say anything one or the other. I'm just curious.
Instead of grenades, he has like missile launchers.
Who knows?
Underbus.
I don't even see where he is in. Did I even make him into an NPC? Yeah, I guess I did. Okay. He seems at first glance to be exactly as competent as Crux. They have the same exact build. They both have the same grenades, the same musket. They could be twins.
I guess Crux has gotten the business from us enough times that he should know better.
I feel like he's like, okay, you guys are in charge. I want to help, but I'm out of my element, so I'll just be the muscle.
Yeah, so Crux and Grimzod are coming?
That'd be my vote. If we're gonna potentially fight a bunch of badass stuff, I feel like the more NPCs we have with us, the better. That's how we've stayed alive so far, guys.
Fair enough. Do it.
Okay. So you'll make your way to Vokath space, and I'm not gonna. I had some art in here, but I forgot to load it. So just imagine this big, green, cloudy planet moon thing with this floating space in there, and so you have somewhat of a plan of how you're going to approach it. So when you actually get to the base, you'll see that there are actually several ships already docked there. You'll see a galleon. You're going to see 4 ships that are shaped kind of like various creatures. You see a wasp-like ship, a scorpion, one like a lamprey, and then one like a bird. And you'll also see there's a large tower coming off the base with a private dock and a shielded, sort of like a slightly more protected, ship. Has like a covering and guards and everything. And that ship is shaped like a damselfly with bright blue paint. And as you approach in, you'll see there's only really 2 spots to dock. And so you can make your way in and dock if you would like. Is that the idea? Or are we just bombarding the base immediately?
No, we're gonna dock.
Okay. So as you come in and you dock, you will kind of be motioned in by dock workers. And you'll notice that the dock workers are it's a mix of humans, Hadozi, and Gith. And they're, motion you in, and they're being watched by 2 Gith guards. They're wearing chainmail with large great swords in their back. They don't look upset or anything. They're not it doesn't look like it's like a adversarial thing. They're just being protected, if that makes sense. And you'll dock without too much trouble. As you go to get off your ship, though, Princess Sadali will approach you and say, I know you want me to stay on the ship, but I want to come. I think that maybe I can help with the negotiations with Vokath.
But you're supposed to be in disguise. You're
And I am.
I-
And she
So-
points at her dyed hair and all of
How
these things.
how would you help?
I think with Vokath, I can reveal myself and tell him that I'm willing to compensate him if he joins my side.
Does seem to like money.
Maybe you can name a planet or something after him too. It seems like he's got a big ego, this guy.
Yeah, much better than a moon. You know what that implicates and all.
Yeah. Implication of having big things named after him. Don't make any firm promises.
All these talks of implications. Okay. Anyways, the implication of the word implication is the real. So, yeah, okay, but yeah, so she's just sort of like, I'd like to come.
I worry that we won't be able to keep you safe, even assuming we can get an audience with Vokath. We still need to find him, and from everything we've heard, this place is pretty rough and tumble. So even if they don't know who you are, even if you just appear to be a common astral elf, you may find yourself in mortal danger, and we need you alive. We certainly could act as your emissary, Your Highness, and maybe we could even bring Vokath to you. I think that would be much safer.
Give me a persuasion check.
Okay. $22.
Your Bardy, you spoony bard. She will consider it when you say the word emissary. Something clicks in her head, and she looks at you and she's like, "Ichabod, you are level-headed, and I do trust you." And she takes this ring off her finger, and it's clearly like a royal signet. Says, "If you need to call my name to get Vokath to agree, here. I don't think it's as good as me being there in person, because you could have always killed me and taken this, but maybe it'll do some good for you." And it's like the royal signet. She's like, "But please keep it safe. Don't show it to anyone else, and bring it back to me immediately when you get back to the ship."
I am honored and humbled by your trust, Your Majesty. You can count on us to represent you to the best of our abilities, and like I said, if all goes well, perhaps you will have an in-person meeting with Vokath before we leave, but we just don't know what we're walking into. So I appreciate your trust in us.
And she'll just nod curtly, turn around, and head into the cabin with Warwick and Snapper and Flinch. And I don't know who else. I guess that's it. Because then you're taking Grimzod and Crux with you, right?
Yeah.
We have the tree left behind as well.
Oh, you left Starbow.
Starbow, yes.
He's always
He
left.
cannot come with us.
He doesn't even know what's happening. He's just, "Oh, I was having a conversation with you.
Beautiful
minute ago."
poison clouds.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been trying to make some things with the leaves in my herbalism kit, but I have not perfected it yet. I don't have the money to actually make anything useful with my herbalism kit, but that's what Placebo does during those trips, is just sits there and grinds leaves together.
Leave
brings up a
Starbow
good-
with a list of team building exercises to keep them occupied while we're gone.
Like a ropes
brings up-
course.
Brings up a good point, though. I don't know if anyone is in need of supplies like arrows or anything like that, but if we see, I don't know if there are going to be any shops, but we seldom seem like we're in anywhere where we can shop. So if there are shops, we may want to see what they have.
I made this, and it's just a bottle that has leaf water in it. It might be able to do something very helpful.
Fascinating. Good work. Maybe the next time Koraz is has a hankering for some greens, he can drink that instead of eyeing up our star-shaped companion.
It's funny because I was gonna recommend that she get her greens from our star-shaped companion. But,
You think of one of those
great
spices,
minds
so-
think differently.
Yes.
Cool. So you'll make your way off the dock pretty easily, and the dock you're in is like just people are kind of like securing your boat and or your ship and everything, and your ship has been damaged. Like there's a dock worker, they're sort of assessing it and offering to potentially fix it after the assessment. The guards there they don't pay you too much attention, but once you get off, they kind of like come to attention, and the two Gith, they are eyeing you warily. You'll notice if you have someone has a good passive perception. I don't know who. I'm sure someone has a passive perception of 14 or higher. If you have a 14 or higher passive perception, you'll notice that each of the guards has one hand that is ungloved, their right hand, and there's a intricate tattoo on the hand. And you find that you can make your way in, past the dock, but there is essentially like there's like a dome in the center of this dock area. So all these docks are like circumnavigating this domed building that is guarded by each of the entrances by two more of those Gith. Although these Gith are wearing plate, they look a little tougher. And you'll see that on occasion they're sort of letting people in, kind of milling about. And there are several peddlers outside of the dome that are harassing people as they walk by and trying to get them to buy various goods.
What are they selling?
So
Fingers.
they're selling various sundry items from the player's handbook. So if there's anything in the player's handbook that you would like, or a trinket from the player's handbook, or wherever the heck trinkets are in all the various books, you'll be able to find something like that. So if you need some arrows, you want to change your armor out for something like that, all of that will be available. Although I don't know how much money y'all have.
It's
5
fine.
gold.
Yeah, I have 10.
Didn't you get something off of the salvage ship? I could have sworn y'all got stuff. Maybe you stopped short of the treasure.
Yeah, the ship that I blew up.
Well, there was that one. Then there was also the ship with the mind flayers, and you get like a plate of. You traded it to get the ship.
The only thing we've ever really found of value was that magical breastplate that we gave to pay off kind of Crux's debt to the person he had rented his ship to.
Cool.
Yes, we are not very rich.
We could have had a Spelljammer helm, but we didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Those are pretty worth a lot, especially if anyways.
We're not good pirates.
Yeah, I know. These rules are hard.
You've resisted eating a fellow crew member. That's very admirable of you.
At like 6 days, they give me a coin.
6 days.
And I have not heard any holy singing from anyone. I think we are doing a good job.
Just
You
not.
say that, Grimzod shoots you a deathly stare.
We're just not making any money, unfortunately. But if anyone is looking for anything in particular, now would be the time. Are you good on arrows, Zeph?
I'm good.
Okay. Then I think we should proceed inside.
Should we buy him a present? We could buy a present.
Did you bring the fish?
Oh, I got some fish. It's right here in my
You got a
pocket.
big bag of smelly fish. No, it's in your pocket. How many fish are you carrying in your pocket?
I think I've got 2 of those teeny tiny ones.
Little anchovies.
The little anchovies.
I'm gonna say you can have as many of those as you want.
My pockets are full.
Yes.
Astral anchovies.
You had several days. I just didn't want to roll 30
Hungry?
times.
Oh, that is a good gift. You make very
Yes.
good food.
I don't know that we have anything more suitable, and that yes, everyone needs to eat.
Well, then we are prepared.
We should have brought the Artuk then.
I don't know that Mercanes eat Artuks, and that would be a surefire way to lose the Artuk's endorsement of our alliance.
That should definitely be in
I
the
don't
character
see any
descriptions.
Artuks here.
word
Actually,
travels.
yeah. That's a good question, though. Let me pick that up because I didn't describe it to the personnel. As you're kind of wandering the docks and you're making your way, kind of coming out of your docked area, going towards the shops, maybe you definitely will see several humanoids. You'll see a couple Aarakocra, Kokra, or whatever. I'm gonna say Kokra, Aarakocra, that are milling about and trying to buy things, and you see a Hadozi and a human that are haggling over something with a Gith shopkeeper. You will see a trio of Artuks. One of them, an elder Artuk, which is a bigger kind of, I guess actually not that big, but more impressive looking Artuk, and a couple Weedlings. And they're staying away from everyone else, but you can tell that they're on, their ship is the Lamprey. It's docked and they are moving cargo in and out, but really more it looks like they're heading into the dome. So you definitely will see several members from the factions you're familiar with or you've heard from Warwick.
Any lizard folk? The Suran?
If you spend a little bit of time looking around, you might catch a couple glances. But yeah, I mean, yeah, you'll see one or two. But you don't get to look too far because as soon as you get to the end of your dock, as you're heading towards this crystal dome, the two guards that were kind of keeping an eye on things step out and they stop you. And one of them gets "Hey, man, you got to stop. Who are you? Why are you here? What are you doing?"
Well, we are first-time visitors to your moon, so thank you. We are very curious about the blood sport arena. That legend and word of it has spread far throughout Doomspace and beyond. So we are very interested and also interested in the purveyor of all of this, the Lord Mercanth himself, whose name is born by this moon, Vokath. So we are hoping we might run across or perchance meet Vokath, and we're, I guess you might say, in some ways, tourists, but also if we could meet with Vokath, I'm sure we could discuss something that he would be very interested in.
And what's that exactly? And you can see the other guard is now kind of saddling up, and he whispers something into his hand.
It's private business. We aren't at liberty to go into details with even someone as esteemed as one of his, I imagine, personal guards. It is something that we would care to discuss with him in private. You never know who's listening, and Ichabod kind of dramatically looks around at all the various people kind of passing by.
Okay. And you're just trying to be straight up persuasive here, right? 'Cause I'm going to call for a check.
Yeah, he's being, obviously he doesn't want to tell them, exactly why they're there, because these could just be anybody. So he is being very honest that we want to talk to him about a potential deal.
Okay. Throw me a persuasion check then. See how this goes. Because they're both, the one guard's kind of off to the side, sort of talking to his thing. 20. What's your modifier?
I have a +9 to persuasion.
Well, that's very helpful for this particular part of the session for sure.
That's
so the
much in
guards,
battles.
well, we'll see how that part goes. So he he kind of turns around. And he looks at his partner, and he's like, "Well, they like kind of talking. They want to see Vokath, and I think that it's private business." They talks. The second guy talks to his hand a little bit, and then he just looks up and nods. First guard comes back to you, and he's like, "Okay, Vokath is going to see you. He's interested in hearing your proposal. So we're going to take you there. Just a security precaution. There's a lot of tough customers on this moon, this base. But we'll escort you there, right to Vokath, and then you'll have an audience with him in his audience chamber."
We appreciate it, and having such strong, capable soldiers as yourselves by our side, I feel safer already.
All right. And I am going to put you onto a map. So do not interpret this as you are murdering Vokath. I'm putting you on this map in case you choose to murder Vokath. You don't have to
We
if you don't want
appreciate
to.
the options.
The implication of the possibility of murdering
Possibility, yeah.
Vokath.
Where is Grimzod? Uh-oh. Did Grimzod not make it onto my thing? Hold on. There he is. I'm moving Grimzod into friendly NPCs. Okay. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and activate this map. Let me know if y'all are able to see in here, because I think I made it to where you can just see everything.
I can
see.
see everything.
I can
Cool.
see
Oh, are those all the
everything.
different ships?
Yeah, those are all the different ships.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all would be actually way over here. I don't know if you can see where I'm clicking, but
Oh, yeah.
you know what? Actually, I think no, that's right. Yeah, I don't know why there's 2 galleons. There should only be 1 galleon, but whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can see the
scorpion
wings of the
ship.
damsel.
It's very cute, the little scorpion.
Yeah, I forgot who's on the scorpion ship. Oh, it's the Thrycreen, of course.
Oh, you guys get cute ships. We should get one of those. Maybe they won't be using it and we can borrow it for a while.
So you'll be led into this audience chamber, and I'll kind of describe a little bit of the walk. You're basically escorted around the crystal dome, and I'm not going to play bones with the map. I didn't set up walls and junk. It's clearly that's an arena that they've been talking about this whole time. And you're brought into this audience chamber, and as you walk through, there's basically an invisible wall of force over at the front. And you would detect the shimmering aspect of another one here, just that essence of like there's a wall of force kind of blocking things off. But as you get to the wall of force, it drops and it permits you, and then it comes back up. And when you're in this chamber, this map is fairly accurate to what you see. You see a number of things. First of all, there's statues all over the place that are poses of these like heroic or fearsome warriors. You see tons of model ships, intricately built model ships from ships you would recognize potentially. There's the Scorpion. look at this, so cute. You would also see a gleaming greatsword that's in this case over here. That is clearly something fantastical. It's shining and beautiful. And there is also over here a gleaming suit of plate mail that again is just it's like covered in runes and clearly has like a specially crafted some kind of a magical property to it. On the throne at the top of the building, or top of the room, far back of the room, sits a lanky blue man. He's tall, very tall. He's clearly a large creature, but mostly from his height and his stature. And he is dressed in beautiful robes, multicolored, that sweep all the way down to his feet. And he's sitting in the chair, and he has a glass of some kind of green wine of some kind that he's swirling around kind of in a bored fashion. In fact, he in general looks a little bit bored. You see his two companions beside him. One of them is a Gith who is an eye patch and plate mail and a big old greatsword on his back. But he's also got a glass, and he's kind of like jovially laughing along with talking to another Gith that's not on the map. But just imagine there's like a little underling there. And when you get a little bit closer, you can tell that he's watching you with this good eye. Just pops it over every once in a while. He puts his glass down, stands to attention. On the other side, there is a Gith. Why would they do Gith and Gif in the same room? But they are. There's a Gith that is fully covered, fully encased in armor, helmet, body, his whole entire body. Every inch of him is protected by this steel plate armor and helmet. He has this flowing, kind of one of those feather things that knights have off the top of his head. He looks regal, and he is armed to the teeth, and he is standing at attention. And you, as you approach, so the two guards will lead you in, and he, the big blue guy, Vokath, as you might guess, looks down at you and just says, "Well, you don't look very impressive."
No, Oh, sorry to interrupt.
It's okay.
Conversely, I would say you look very impressive, and you have made quite the reputation of yourself. That is as they say, a double-edged sword. Everyone knows your power and your danger. We tend to operate under the radar, and we have accomplished much, though through no accident, few have learned of our feats. We are in fact on a secret mission. And he pauses for dramatic effect.
He stares at you with like a cold arrogance. Secret mission.
Yes. Surely you have heard of the scourge of the astral sea, these Xaryxian astral elves. I know you have heard of them because you have helped many who have found their way to Doom Space, the victims of that empire's atrocities. We are in the auspicious position to be mounting a rebellion against the empire. So we've come to your Cloud City searching for help.
As you're running through this information, like we're against the Xaryxians, we're going to rebel, we're going to throw over the empire, you can see his face, like his eyes squint harder and harder and harder, and he kind of gets like a bit of a scowl as you finish your sentence.
We thought we would do you the honor of being forthright. We know you are the wielder of much power and authority in Doom Space, and as a sign of respect, we come to you directly. We know we have a plan. We have a solid plan, and we have the backing of powerful individuals, but we know we need more allies. So rather than going from moon to moon, planet to planet, visiting these disparate cultures and people to get them to rise up against this oppressive force and take their fortunes into their own hands, we humbly submit ourselves to you, knowing that of everyone here in Doom Space, you are poised, the best poised to assist us with our plan. And of course, the rewards are always commensurate to the risk. So we wanted to bring the opportunity to you first because we both stand to gain much.
And so what exactly it is that you want out of me?
Well, we know that you have magnanimously helped those within Doom Space who are down on their luck, who need aid. You have provided that at very reasonable expenses to the individuals. And by that token, they are indebted to you. They are, they look up to you for many reasons. So we we would like to use your clout, frankly, your prestige, to help bind these people together, to create a great armada, to confront the Xaryxians. And as I alluded to earlier, it is not a simple, clumsy assault against the astral elves. That others have tried that and sadly have failed. We have a much more shrewd plan. And we, again, have other allies that will assist us in this. So if you're asking what we want from you, it is simply that, to throw your weight around, as it were, to help unify the people for this assault. And we wouldn't presume to know what you want out of it. We could make offers such as more prestige, more authority outside of Doomspace even, but that would be insulting to a creature as complex as yourself. You have much means, clearly, so we would humbly ask what you would like in return. What is it the great Vokath wants, and we will entertain any notion and see what we can do with the influence that we have and those who have allied with us.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay.
This is the session of persuasion checks. Should give me
26.
advantage on these anymore. Like, what was the first one? The 26, or was that the advantaged one?
That was the
Dang it.
advantage one.
No, it was the first one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it goes in order. So you just the bard. So the Mercane, he Vokath, he looks at you. And he's like thinking. And you can tell like he has a million questions running through his mind. So you want me to oppose the Xaryxians behind the scenes, pull some favors that I've cultivated so carefully and strategically for vague promises of what exactly? Not even prestige or power, or
It could be any or all of those. We don't come with vague promises. We, instead of coming with what we assume you want, we want to know from your own lips what you want. Is there anything that you aspire to that you don't already have that we can perhaps arrange?
So you would grant me a wish,
so to speak.
I think Zeph will like telepathically message you and be like, hey, maybe pull out that ring.
I thought Zeph was gonna shoot him with an arrow. Like, here we go.
If you need further assurance that we're not just making empty claims, and he will kind of lift his hat and pull the signet ring out. And if I may, he'll very tentatively like take a step forward, so it doesn't seem as though he's being, and making any sort of offensive move.
Yeah, and so you do that effectively, but as you do notice that the Gith, who was kind of languid, gets a little bit tense. His hand kind of moves a little bit closer to his blade.
This ring belongs to Her Majesty Princess. Name starts with an X. Zidali. Princess Zidali.
I feel like people would say that in real life too. Like, name starts with an X, whatever.
The one.
Xaryxians.
They all do. Her Highness Princess Zidalia. She wanted to meet with you in person, and she is still very eager to do so. But we come here as her emissary, representing the rightful heir to the throne of Xaryxis. She herself is instrumental in our plan, which we, again, are putting great trust in you because you have shown yourself to be a man of honor. Many do not even know she's still alive, but she has resources and influence, and we have a way to overthrow her usurping brother. And all we need is an armada to do so. And again, yes, you would be out the favors you have so diligently collected, but what might you gain from a princess who owes you a favor versus, sadly, the salvaged remains of various civilizations.
All right, one more persuasion check again with advantage.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for you to roll 2 natural ones. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, me too.
But then
21.
Keep crossing the 20. So he looks at it and he ponders. Then he starts to laugh. You've got some gumption. I will say that. You got a way of with words too, Mister. What did you say your name was?
Ichabod, and he'll perform a bow, kind of sweep out his walking stick as he doffs his hat.
And you speak for everyone there, the Thrycreen, and I'm assuming the pink ooze is your friend.
That is my sister, Placebo. Yes, we are longtime companions, but also a mix of new friends. And he'll gesture towards Crux and Grimzod, including former enemies who have come together for a greater cause. What is that phrase? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. And the Xaryxians outside their own number have few enough of those.
I'll tell you what. You asked me what I want, and obviously, having a princess in debt to me, assuming she is actually alive, and that you haven't just taken her ring after raiding her ship, that's nice. I also have a more petty interest. I'd like to see what you can do. You compete in my arena, put on a good show, and I'll introduce you to the faction leaders that I'm familiar with. Several of them are here for the games, so you might even be able to impress them. What do you say?
Now you're talking.
We certainly understand your position, and yes, you must test the mettle of your allies, and I like the added layer of us also showing some of the other factions who are gathered what we are capable of, and we are in fact quite impressive in battle, having made it all throughout the astral sea from one end to the other, claiming many friends along the way. So, and he'll turn back to the group because he's kind of losing it a little bit because he's like, I don't know what we're gonna face in there, guys. But he's like, what say you all? Are we up for the challenge?
Yeah, I think so. Hey, what are the rules there, guy?
Well, simple. You will face off against some of my pets. If you succeed, let's say 3 rounds. Everyone likes 3. I will introduce you to the factions afterwards. If you lose, I'll just say this. Entertain me, and I will consider your request anyways. But if you go out there and flop, then you'll have more problems to face than the Xaryxians.
That sounds like a fair and sporting offer. We appreciate your time and your consideration, and we are eager to prove ourselves.
And these of yours, do you want us just to subdue them? I mean, they are your pets. You don't want them to come to any real harm.
He just kind of turns his head, blinks at you a little bit, and says, your choice. I can always get another pet. Maybe you'll be my next pet.
I don't
You would
like
not
that
make
part.
A good pet. Yeah.
Hey, question.
I'm kidding.
Can we eat them afterwards?
I guess it's more a question of can you eat them than will I allow you to. But I will say yes.
Okay.
Sure. Especially the Thrycreen in attendance. They might get a kick out of that.
I think
Garthok's
Zephis is looking at Koraz like we got to win here.
They are not crewmates, so that is not breaking the rules.
Yes.
Crimson
Bon
nods.
appetit.
Very correct.
Oh, Ryan, I think
When,
you might be muted.
Oh no, we're
Oh,
missing
sorry.
Koraz.
Yeah, there we go. I was gonna say Koraz is keeping his mouth shut because he has a tendency to write checks the party can't cash. But his antenna, as soon as they start talking about eating them, just start going a little crazy.
when will this contest begin, great Vokath?
Now, he snaps and you are teleported.
Yay!
Wow, that's a good trick.
Yeah, if you would have tried to
Need
attack
to learn
him,
that one.
he has a little teleporting thing that he can do. You would have been teleported immediately if you tried to fight him, and then bad things would have happened.
Yeah, you never fight a power broker in his own lair. That's just stupid.
So, feel free to position yourself however you would like in this arena. So you're over here in case, well, that doesn't help. You're in the big arena, so go over there. And I didn't have time to set up like tokens for the ambiance, but what's going to happen as you get teleported in, and there's already several people that are kind of milling about on the upper levels. So this is like the upper level here. And we're going to move the Mercane just so you can see he's going to observe this. He is protected from like basically with one of those force fields up in his box, but he's clearly looking and judging. And in this upper area, there are every single type of species that you would know of from Warwick's description. There's Aarakocra, there's Adozi, there's humans, there's the Cicerans, there's the Artuks. They're kind of grouped around with each other, like for the most part, which you'll see like the human Hadozi and the Aarakocra, all the like those they're sort of like hanging out with each other. Like they're mixing around. But I can never say it, the Ciceran and the Artuks and for the most part the Thrycreen, they're kind of in their own little sections, right? They're not really mingling very much because they're a little more standoffish. And but as you get dropped in, more people start to filter in. Like basically, people who were hanging around on the docks suddenly are like, "Oh, there's going to be another fight already," and they're like coming in to like see what's going on. Some of the crew members get pulled off the docks, and after about 4 or 5 minutes, it's going to fill up and get pretty loud and raucous in here. Do you all want to do anything in that time period while they're filling in?
Oh, I think I do. Let's see what that motivational speech does.
Yeah, you got your food, you got your speech, you got 2 NPCs that you can force to stand in front of an enemy.
I'm gonna cast motivational speech. I'll drop the details in chat, but it gives us some temp hit points, advantage on wisdom saving throws. And if you're hit by an attack, you have advantage on your next attack roll. So hopefully this will give us a nice boost going in.
Okay. So who all got that?
This is going to, let's see. How many is it? 1 hour.
5 creatures.
5. Yeah. Choose up to 5 creatures that can hear you. So I don't know if I can include myself in that.
Yeah, you can hear yourself.
Yeah.
Come on,
so I would
one
say
of us has pumped ourselves up at least once in our lives. Like
I would say it's everyone, the 4 of us, and then the 5th one will be Crux.
Okay.
Because I like him better than Grimzod. And Ichabod likes him better than Grimzod.
And we know you want to kill him, so
Yeah, that's the other thing. We know the DM has painted a target on the back of this particular GIF, so
yeah. Crux is
so we're all motivated.
You should have bought Crux some armor. Anyways,
With
he just
gold.
yeah, it's true. You don't have any gold. You should have stole some armor. You should have stolen that plate mail.
Oh yeah, that
would have gone well.
Yeah, it's really funny. They're like, and if the players want the plate mail, as long as they have 3,000 gold, they can buy it. I was like, they don't have any gold. Like this, they have 3,000 gold.
We missed something, huh?
Yeah, or they could trade a rare item. I was like, where they've got a rare item? Oh well. Anyways, I guess they could have traded the blood. You could have traded the breastplate. But,
I would
Okay.
like to do something entertaining while the group is coming into the stands. I'm going to take my immovable rod and kind of have it like a gymnast bar and just start doing flips over it, like, so I'm just a pink blur going around and around.
I forgot you had that.
Yes, I'm going to stand up on this rock, reach up, click, and then just start doing like gymnast spins.
Yeah, and the crowd goes wild. So like all these Aarakocra and all these like Hadozi and even like the Thrycreen, like they're getting into it. They're very impressed. Actually, give me a performance check to see if you get the Artux into it. So just doing it alone excites the regulars, and then you didn't quite convince the Artux that you were that impressive. They're just sort of like they seem bored talking to each other. But everyone else is kind of like, yeah, cool. And then Hadozi and the humans are like, especially like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah. That slime has got some moves. And they're just like cheering you. But then Vocad says, enough. And you hear this like psychic voice in your head and it's like booming out. And you can tell that he has like some magic mechanism of like projecting his voice. He's like, we shall begin the games. We have several new competitors here. The spelljamming crew of the... He looks at you. What was the name of your ship?
The Second Wind.
The Second Wind! They are here to battle for your favor. And he points out to the crowd and they kind of cheer. And for mine, of course. We will have 3 rounds. No breaks in between. Whoever succeeds, or if they succeed in this battle, we will crown a new champion for the day. And of course, as you all know, champions are favored in this realm, so you will have a chance to speak with them if you so wish. But enough with the game, or enough with the talk, on with the games. And he kind of snaps, and 2 creatures form up in the center of the arena. And there are these large orange giants. And they form up and they look confused. Like they kind of like teleport out and like you could tell they were like sleeping. And they land on their feet and they're just like looking around and he goes, "It's Thrasher and Gnasher." And they do not react at all to those names. But they kind of stumble around, they're groggy, and they're trying to get their footing. And then Vocad says, "And begin!" And we're going to have a fight. So here's what's going to happen. We're going to roll for initiative. My 2 creatures are going to roll with disadvantage because they are confused. And I think there's a way to roll off the sheet. Does anyone know the initiative button off the sheet?
Yeah, if you just hit the word initiative, it's on the right side of the sheet. I don't know how it is for the monster sheet.
Oh, yeah, it might be a little different monsters. No. Should be in here someplace. CR6. Where is it? I'm just gonna roll 2d20s. So, So this is for the first dude. His initiative is going to be I rolled the exact same number, 28. What?
14 and 14.
No, I'm sorry, 14. Okay. I was like, wow, y'all, you're in trouble. Okay, cool. That would have been bad. All right, that was Gnasher. So Gnasher's going to roll in, and I will edit that to be a 14 plus 2. Okay. And then do the same thing for Thrasher. This one seems so much easier to the table. So that's going to be a 10 plus 2 for Thrasher. And then is everyone else? Oh, Grimzod and Commodore Crux. They're going to roll in. And that was Gnasher, I said, right? I don't know.
Thrasher, Gnasher.
Who knows? It doesn't matter. We're just going to roll with that. Okay. I think I messed it up actually. They're both named Nasher. What
Yes.
the? Oh no. No. I
Well,
messed
it's not their real names anyway, so they probably can't keep it straight either.
Second
Oh, I thought
Nasher.
you were Nasher.
All right. Ichabod, it's your turn.
All right, so I want to move within 30 feet of both of them, which I think here will do so. I am going to burn a bardic inspiration to use not cutting words. What do they call it? Unsettling words. So I'm going to
Okay.
bonus action unsettling words. So that the creature has to subtract a bardic inspiration die from the next saving throw, and the next saving throw is going to be my action, which is to cast Bane on both of them.
Nice. Which one subtracts? The one at the top or the one at the bottom?
We'll do the one on top. We'll do Nasher.
Listen, I can change his name. I'm gonna say. So I'm updating. I forced it. So we'll do this one at the top. Okay. So the one at the top is actually the true Nasher, and he will be. He's just gonna have his bardic inspiration taken away. Okay. All right. Cool. So let's see if he saves. These are very charismatic creatures, as you can tell. And
Pretty good.
well, what do I subtract? A D8.
That's a very good question. You think I'd know that off the top of my head? What is my?
Meanwhile, I'll roll the other one.
1d8. Yep.
All right. And roll the D8. What the? Okay, so this one fails. The one at the top because of your clever use of your ability, but the other one succeeds.
Hmm.
And he roars. And you'll notice too, like these big guys, they have 4 arms. Like it's like Goro. These big orange giants with 4 arms and like stringy hair, and they're just like roaring. What language do they speak? Don't speak a language. Okay. Okay. Anything else, Ichabod?
No, that'll do it.
All right, Koraz the Hive.
All right, Koraz.
Koraz,
first of
just
all.
for a second, as you see these creatures manifest, you see this sort of orangey, like cloudy, like thing as they're like being teleported in like Star Trek style. And just for a second, you think that it's the Flux Inspector arriving, but then it forms into the giant, and now it's time to run.
Round
Yeah.
3 will be the Flags Inspector.
So yeah,
I really
Koraz
should.
is gonna move over here, and then he is going to cast a spell. He's going to summon an aberration.
Uh-oh.
And as he does this, he's going to kind of dramatically like walk backwards to where he's at, like while like raising his arms, and his eyes are going to go in the back of his head, kind of like roll back and turn black. And I think he's going to summon a aberrant spirit beholderkin.
Beholderkin.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull. Let me see if I can actually find a summon beholder. No. Okay. Sometimes they have like
Yeah, sometimes you can find it. It has a stat block here in this spell. I think I can just roll shit off of if I need to.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm gonna put. How big is it? Is it a full size? Is it large?
It is
Medium?
let's see,
Oh, it's
medium.
medium. Okay. So I'll just kind of pull this little beholder guy on here and just. Oh, I can't edit him. Hold on. I'll edit his token, or will I? And that'll be just a placeholder for the creature, and you can tell me where you want to put it and that kind of stuff. Let's
Yeah,
see if
I
can give
think
you
I want to
information.
drop them behind these guys. I have 90 feet that I can drop them in, so I think I'm going to drop them like floating above this rock over here.
Got it. Okay.
Nice.
And I will pop them over there and see if I can give you control, but it doesn't seem like I can easily do that from this perspective, but that's okay. Just tell me where you want him to go, whenever you want me to move him.
Okay, and then I'm trying to look in the spell. Does this? It says that he acts right after my turn. I'm trying to see if there's any limited, like if he acts right now or if it's next turn.
I mean, that would be after your turn.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna rule it, unless that's wrong, but I don't care. So what's he do?
He has an attack here that's like I think it's like a beam, a eye ray, beholder king, range spell attack. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Cool. Which one?
Of course, it's going to be Nasher.
So the top one is Thrasher. Oh, dang it. It still says Nasher. Top one is Nasher. You're right. The bottom one is Thrasher. How did that do this? Wrong. Okay. And can you roll the attack?
Yep, I can. It's a ranged spell attack, so I'll just roll one of my blasts. 13?
13 total?
Yeah.
That's a miss.
Okay.
Just barely. The beam just kind of like glazes over his shoulder. It strikes one of the air cockroach. No, I'm just kidding. The air cockroach are angry.
And then it gets it gets two. I think it says it makes a number of attacks equal to half the spell's level, which would be 2 attacks.
Cool. Go for it again.
So yeah, he'll shoot another beam. See if it hits. 19.
Oh yeah, that hits.
Let's see, what is the chair? It's D8. D8 plus 3 plus the spell's level, so it'd be plus 1d8
Plus 7?
plus 7. Yep, 17.
Nice.
Or no, it's got the 3 on there already, so just another 4, so 14.
Okay. Cool. So the beam strikes and just rips into the bare flesh of this creature. And it roars in anger.
And Koraz, yeah, while this is happening, he's gonna do some like point up to the audience and do some like wrestling moves. You know, like you know, I called this thing down, and he's gonna do like a rock, you know, pointing around and being like, yeah, come on, yeah.
Yeah, the crowd's really getting into it, especially the Thrycreen. They're like, eat him. All right, it's Commander Crux's turn, and he's like, that's a brog. Those are bad beasts. And he will shoot him with the musket 2 times. And will actually hit.
Yeah,
once.
Crux.
Oh, wait. No, wait. Twice. Wow, that was cool. I don't know if anyone saw that, but it rolled to 4 for a second. So that'll be 6 points of damage. And then a big 12. Look at that. That is the best I think he's ever done. And then he is going to kind of like skedaddle behind these rocks. All right. And then Placebo, you're up.
Right. I'm going to like launch off of my rod and land and just go after this guy here. in
All
front of
right.
me. So I will attack him with my quarterstaff.
Okay. Let's see how it goes.
I'm pushing the buttons, I promise.
Oh, that hits.
All right. So damage.
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. That's a huge hit. Just like crack him right in the knee or something.
Yes. I'm going to try to hit him again. Right?
Okay.
So I was thinking I would try to stun him, but he looks pretty big and strong, and we have 3 rounds. So for now, I'm just going to try to hit him again.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, it's another hit.
Right. So the damage.
Starting out strong, guys.
Not quite as much, but there is some more.
He looks confused. Anything else? Don't feel too
Yeah, I
bad.
will just bonus action unarmed strike.
All right. Unarmed strike. I'm gonna look up these guys.
18.
18. Oh, that's a hit.
Okay.
And
Some more.
another 11. Wow, that's the power of monks. Yeah, so you just like rip into this guy and you're just beating the crap out of him. You see bruises swelling up on his orange skin.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We must beat you.
Eat you?
The next one, Nasher comes up and the Vocat's like, and Nasher's on the move. He's like announcing, and Nasher's gonna run up to Crux.
Oh, no.
And he is going to what is he gonna do? Let's see what this cool thing is called. Hideous Rend. Yeah, he's gonna reach out with all four of his arms to Crux, and Crux is gonna have to make a dexterity saving throw. Come on, Crux. What kind of bonus does he get again? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? He makes a Dixie. He just steps out of the way just as the arms and they just miss all four arms at the same time. Just whiff on him, and he escapes the grapple of the creatures. Let's see. That's it. Okay. Too bad. And then Zeph.
All right. So is the game we have to survive for 3 rounds, or we have to take one of these guys down in 3 rounds?
You got to kill them. Yeah.
Okay.
Rounds in his term, not in D&D rounds. I'll probably say, I mean, unless something dramatic happens, you won't finish tonight, probably.
Okay, we don't have to finish this in 18 seconds, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. That would be a strange
Okay.
combat.
That's how I was interpreting it. So that's good I asked. So
yeah. He means like there's gonna be 3 rounds of creatures.
Okay.
Yeah, that's how I was interpreting it.
Gotcha. Oh man. Okay. Well, knowing that, we've got more time then. So what I think I'm gonna do, just because we have to intervene to help Crux, because Winston, like, for sure will try to murder this guy. So I'm gonna cast Fog Cloud, I think, just to try to help out with having maybe a little bit of buffer. So it's a 30 or it's a 20-foot radius sphere. So I'll draw that out. It's so bad at doing.
Well, it should give you a template, right? Or did we figure out that doesn't?
I don't know. It didn't.
Oh, did you? Yeah. So you
I always have trouble with that too.
Yeah, I think it does it for some spells, and some spells it wants to not do it. Where are you pointing it?
Well,
or where are you saying?
I want to see I wanted to see the template before I commit.
Got it. Well, you know what? Here, check us out. I think this will work. So you're casting Fog Cloud?
Yep.
I'm going to cast it without using the spell slot, but putting the template down.
Oh, yeah.
So ballpark, I'm just going to put it like there, and then I can move. You might be able to move it, but if not, I can move it.
Let's see.
I think I just scratched my glasses.
So I would say I want it to just cover like have like the upper corner of it, like the upper right, like have a box that covers him, Crux. So at least he's got the cover of the fog cloud.
Oh, I see, just one box.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like that's perfect. Yep.
Cool.
And then I'm gonna move in there 5, 10. I think maybe I'll get to like behind him. So that was my action to cast that, and then I'm just moving in, and I've got my scimitars out, and I'm just behind the guy, and that'll be my turn.
Got it. All right. Then we will get. Oh God! I just saw something on Grimzod's character sheet. You probably don't want him to die. Anyways.
Uh,
Yeah.
In the
and-
cloud,
I don't
man.
want anyone to die.
He's a vampire. I forgot. Vampires do things when they die. So he is going to stay back, and he is going to shoot his crossbow. He only has one attack. What? Oh well.
We should have brought both of the gift or the.
Yeah, that's right. He's like,
Crooks hasn't
"Careful."
had a great, track record. up
Oh,
to this
but
point.
hey, look,
Yeah.
he does crit, so we can't.
Yeah, so it'll be 22 points of damage. That was weird. Why did it roll 3? Oh, I didn't roll it as a crit. That's why. Boop. There we go.
Ow.
33 points of damage. So, yeah, so he fires this, like, I guess, sort of spectrally charged crossbow bolt. And let me just see what's going on there. No, it's just a very cool crossbow. Okay, gotcha. And it fires into the heart of this creature, and it almost knocks him off his feet. He was like, take that one down. I don't know why he's Arnold Schwarzenegger now, but he is. All right, Thrasher's turn. Thrasher is reeling from this blow, and then Placebo.
Run to the Thrasher.
Get to the Thrasher. He is going to beat on you with all 4 of his fists.
It's a lot of fists.
There's
Yeah.
many fists.
So you see the numbers, and he goes
Yes.
hit.
2 of them do 17 and 18.
All right, here's the first one, and here's the second one. So you are like having this fist fight with this guy, and then he just turns around and just like pummels you. You're able to deflect a couple, but when you get hit by this creature, it's like getting hit by a baseball bat. It just like just knocks you right around. Your mask is flipped upside down, and that is the end of the
That
first
makes
round.
me look sad.
Exactly. Yeah. All
Oh,
right,
you
Ichabod,
should
you're
have
up.
advantage on your next attack against him, even though your temporary hit points are gone. From his attack, I still think that
Aha,
the
yeah.
spell says so. I think you'll get one kind of round where you'll have advantage against him now.
From-
because he attacked.
Yeah. Or wait.
Because you took damage, right?
Right. Yeah. For motivational speech.
Oh, okay.
Cool. All right, so then that brings us up to you, Ichabod. Speaking of,
Okay. I was going to do Vicious Mockery against the Baned one, but now I can't see him, so I guess I'll try it against the other one.
okay, which is mockery.
Like, yeah, you got to beat a Wisdom saving throw of 14.
Well, oh, they're actually not that bad, but 12. So I fail. What happens?
All
He
right.
falls down laughing.
No, that would have been Tasha's. This just means
Oh.
he has disadvantage on his next attack roll. And he's going to take some psychic damage.
Okay, cool.
He's going to take 5 psychic damage.
He grabs his head. Roar!
And I'm going to 5, 10, 15, 20. Just do a little retreating.
Cool. And that'll bring us to Koraz.
All right. So Koraz is going to. And then he's going to blast this one here with. See if it hits.
All right, let's go.
17.
Oh yeah,
All
what you got? 10 points.
right. Oh,
Fireball.
geez. Not too bad.
8. Okay.
And then he'll tell the beholder to kind of move over here. And
Okay.
then the beholder is going to send his first beam towards, I believe you said Thrasher's the top one.
Yeah.
sure.
Question: how tall is the fog cloud?
Maybe
It would cover his
20 feet, I think.
Oh, would he be
it would
blocked?
cover his, it would cover his head, yeah. So he's in the clouds. He would just have disadvantage on, I think, right? It's like lightly obscured.
Yeah, we'll do
It's,
that anyway.
Well, it's heavily obscured, so it blocks
Oh.
sight.
Oh, so then he's probably not going to
Mhm.
fire at that one if he can't.
Yeah,
see
he
it.
wouldn't have target.
Yeah. So okay, so he's going to fire twice at this one.
All right.
He gets 2. Let me just roll it. 2 attacks from my character sheet,
24 hits for sure.
and then 11. That probably misses.
11 misses, but the 24 hits. Go ahead and roll the
Okay, and
damage.
then let me get. It's a little weird. This is my first time with a summoned creature. I'm gonna need like a separate character sheet or something. It's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, what you can
bit.
do is let me know which ones you want to summon, and I can add those tokens and give you permission
Oh, sweet.
in
Yeah,
Foundry.
I'll send
Or you can make a
quick-
character sheet, you know.
And
That's
then
a
that
little
will
strange.
be plus an additional 4, so it'll be 10 points.
It rakes his body, and you smell burning flesh or necrotic flesh, whatever energy it is, just across his chest. Placebo, a little bit of like gore comes on you. And then Crux is up. And Crux is like, I can't see. He reaches for all his grenades.
Well, time to die.
This is, I feel like we've been here before.
So help me out, Alex. Can he like stab at him with disadvantage, or can he not even target him? In the
Yeah, so he'd be like blinded, so he could, if you judge that he knows where to strike, he could attack at disadvantage.
Okay. That's what I'll do. I'll have him attack 2 times disadvantage with the longsword. And he will miss both times. He's just like swinging around in the fog cloud. And then he's going to step out and kind of like get out of the cloud and move around the cloud and catch sight of. Yeah, that's all he'll do. Okay. And then Placebo.
Okay, well, I'm going to try to hit him again with my staff. And the first one you said will get advantage. Oh boy, 15
Yeah.
with advantage. That was a bad roll.
You're both 7s.
All right.
right.
Describe how you kill Thrasher.
Oh, I have to be very entertaining, correct?
Yep.
So I think I would like to pole vault up with my quarterstaff and then come down through the top of his head if I can, or maybe through his eye, ear, one of the orifices in the head with the quarterstaff. And I will say, it's okay, he can get more pets.
Yeah, and you say that with your upside down mask, and you like whoosh, right into his eye, and it goes like 3 feet deep into his like throat. There's this gout of like disgusting orangey blood just shoots up into the sky 30 feet, and then he goes roar, grabs the staff, and he collapses, and the crowd just like clapping, and the Artuks are like rustling, and they get up and they start looking at what you're doing.
Bravo,
I am
sister.
trying to impress the Artuks. All right. And now I am going to run into the fog cloud. So I'm just going to run in a straight line, but I will bump into.
Oh,
Pardon. And I just will keep going until. Okay, now I bump into him, correct?
Yeah. You
All
bump
right.
You
into a
guys do
big
that thing
slab
where you
of-
keep like moving out of the way and blocking
no.
each other.
Oh yeah.
No
except
one can
Zeph,
see us in
Zeph
here.
can see, so he's like just doing it to be.
It's like yeah.
So I will try a second attack at disadvantage because I'm basically blind in this cloud, right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you have a sense there's a body in front of you that's very big. You just
I-
bumped into it.
I can feel the fur.
And it'll hit.
Okay. Well, I will do my best to help. It is a little bit. And then I will try to kind of spin and kick him with my pseudopod with an unarmed strike bonus action. But also at disadvantage.
That one will miss.
Okay.
And it is
I'm
Nasher's
so
turn.
glad nobody saw that.
Yeah, no one sees. They just see this like wispy dome of fog that's kind of like moving around, and they don't know what's going on in there. It's gonna be like a ninja move. Just all of a sudden the fog clears and everyone's dead. Speaking of, the creature is going to Nasher, I should say. He has a name. He is going to swing his arms around recklessly, trying to hit all the stuff that's over here, And the way I'm going to rule this is just going to throw 4 disadvantaged attacks, and we're going to alternate between Placebo and Zeph.
He's
So the first
also
one to
Bane.
Placebo,
That will
and
hit.
he's Bane, so he takes 4 off.
Yeah, 1d4.
Oh,
Oh, 15?
well, then it will not hit. No.
Dang it. Okay. This one's against Zeph.
A miss.
Yeah, I don't even know why I rolled that.
So
Back to Placebo.
that one will.
No, I haven't rolled yet. You're
Okay. I have a sentinel ability. And I was just trying to read to see if I have to see the creature. It just says if a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you, you can use your reaction. So would I be able to try to swing back when he goes for Zeph?
Yeah, I'll say so. I mean, you know he's there and you can feel him swinging at you. I mean, you know, you don't have like clear vision like Zeph does. Zeph's about to fuck this guy up, but you could at least like swing at. You miss.
I'll miss.
This is his Zeph.
It'll miss.
And yeah. So he's just like throwing these haymakers. You can feel the cloud just like bursting past his fist, but they're like 3 feet too high. Like they're over your head. And then Zeph, you're watching this happen, maybe with a bit of a wink in your eye, missing punches, and he looks very open to you.
So just like kind of to everyone else, I know it's like probably annoying to have the fog cloud here. My thinking was just because he's baned, like this might play out. But if someone's annoyed, just let me know and I would drop it. But
no, it works.
Tactics.
No, it's a good tactic.
I think I probably will shift myself over here just in the off chance that he decides he's gonna try to run over there to deal with Crux. But then I'll make some attacks.
Yes, on the random chance that he finds Crux.
Okay. So I will have advantage. So this will be my first Scimitar of Warning attack.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a hit.
And it's a crit.
It's a big old crit.
So I'm going to use my my swarm ability on this particular attack so I can get the damage on that. So
yeah, your kids are like hungry. Like you've been talking about eating creatures for a long time.
It's gonna be the scarabs from the Mummy. It's just gonna be a skeleton.
Oh no.
Okay, so I believe that is 17 damage total.
Yeah, that's 9 plus 8, so 17. Yep.
And then I'll make a second attack with the scimitar.
Not a crit, but it hits.
Another 6 from that. And then bonus action, I'll use an offhand attack. My short sword.
Cool. Hit.
And that will just be a straight D6.
Nice.
Another
You roll
2.
2 every time, I think. So you just like a whirl of blades, goo is just flying around, and it'll be to Grimzod's turn. Grimzod is going to I guess Grimzod will run on into the cloud, just straight line, bump into the creature and say, "Oh, what holy shit," or whatever, and he'll turn around and he will reach out his hand and try to grab a hold of his toe.
Unholy shit.
Yeah,
I was thinking this
advantage. Yeah, I mean, I think he misses anyways. Yeah, he does. Well, he really misses now. So that is his turn. And it is back to you, Ichabod. Everyone's in the cloud.
Yeah, Ichabod's gonna just hold Vicious Mockery. If the cloud goes down or if the giant comes storming out and it's in range, he'll launch a Vicious Mockery.
Perfect. Koraz the Hive.
I think the same thing's going to go here. Koraz is going to ready a firebolt. And if the cloud comes down or the giant comes out, he's going to fire. And he's going to tell the beholder to do the same thing, to hold its beam in case of the same thing.
Got it. Crux. I'm not going to do this, but you know what Crux probably would do? He probably chuck
all
a
the
grenade in there. He would throw a grenade in there. He definitely would. I'm not gonna throw a grenade.
That's what he would do.
And Zeph would catch it and like throw it back at him. Son of a bitch.
Swat it down. No.
Trying to save you.
So,
I'm gonna give him a wisdom saving throw. If he hits a DC 12, he will not chuck a grenade into you.
I think he has
it's gonna be a wisdom-
advantage. Does he have
it's a
advantage
wisdom
on
check.
wisdom saving? Oh, it checks.
Come on, we've talked to him about this before. So give maybe advantage would be.
yes, he does it every battle, and we continue to take him.
All right, advantage.
Thank God. Thank God.
He reaches for the grenade and he's like, "Oh, I think maybe someone else is in there." And he will ready his musket in case he sees any movement. And then
Although
Placebo.
that might have been entertaining. We are supposed to be entertaining. All right. I am going to continue to try. I just like to think that like this creature was like pounding at us and missing every time. I'm trying to swing at him and miss, and then Zeph just goes in slice
It's like
expertly.
3 hits in
I'm-
a row.
I'm going to try to hit with my quarterstaff, blindly swinging at the giant. I think I know where you are now.
Ooh, that's a hit.
All right. 9 bludgeoning.
Yeah,
I will
he's up.
attack again.
That is a
14.
hit, just barely.
Oof. All right. Well, I will take it. For 8 more. And
Yep.
then an unarmed strike. And I'm trying to be really fancy, even though I'm not, like
No
in the
one
middle
can
of
see you.
Yeah, I'm in a fog cloud and no one can see me. But I am just like pulling out the stops here, doing all
That's
my
a hit.
special attacks. I'm like, oh, this will be very entertaining for the crowd.
Oh, you're kidding me. How do you kill this one?
Yeah, so I'm trying to like when I get into position, like make it look really official and fancy and wah, and then step back and then wah again and kneecap him with that last one so that I would trip him and he would come falling down like a big tree. So
Yeah,
that is what I'm envisioning inside this cloud
And
that maybe only Zeph sees.
And as it drops and falls, I'd like order like all of my kids to swarm its body and start like devour like mimicking at least that they're devouring it, and then like drop the fog cloud and go ta-da.
The cloud disperses and hundreds of these little babies and everyone's like, ugh, hurrah! And they start to cheer. And you just see like this, you hear this loud but quiet clapping, like he's amplifying his quiet clap. And Volkaz says, well, what a nice tactic. And you get to see a meal at the show. Well, I guess they got the meal, right? Enough. He snaps, and these bodies disappear. And actually, you know what? I'm going to leave the bodies there. That makes more sense. The cloud is gone, and you feel another creature teleport in. This one's bigger, I think. And I'm going to put it... I just put it right in the center. Why not? No, it's the same size. So this creature drops in the middle of the arena. It's this large... It's almost like from Star Wars. What's the thing in Star Wars that Luke Skywalker sadly
The Rancor?
kills? The Rancor. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like a Rancor. It drops and he says, "There's Brutus the Broxit and his pets." And a couple scavers pop out. And one of them is a little smaller, one of them is a little bigger. And they drop in the middle of the arena. And Brutus doesn't look shocked. He like raises this club and he starts to like swirl it. And you can hear the crowd going, "Brutus, Brutus, Brutus." So you get the impression this is someone who has been around a little bit more, not the poor confused brogues. And he's going to roll into initiative, as will the scavers. And we'll see how you hold up.
Maybe Brutus was more surprised than thought.
Yeah, maybe so. All right, Zeph, you're up. He's big and slow. Cut him slack. So you go first. This guy drops. He's waving his club around. He's a big boy. He's scaly. He looks a little bit tougher.
And these things that have joined him, what are they?
They are scavers. They look like flying sharks.
Okay. They're close enough to the ground that I could attack them in melee.
Yes. They're fly. They have a fly speed, so they are like 5-10 feet off the ground. But with your height and everything, like you'll be able to hit them.
Okay. I think I'll bonus action hit this one maybe with the Hunter's Mark.
Got it.
And then run over there. And I'll take 2 swings at him.
Got it. I don't think my little shark guy is going to make it very long. I don't know why he's even in this encounter. All right, you hit him.
All right. And then that plus I'll just roll 2d6. That's Hunter's Mark plus
Plus your babies.
Yep.
All right.
The total
So
of
we'll
10.
do 4 plus, so 10 total.
And second swing is a 25
That's a
to
hit.
hit. And total 7.
It is still up, but you chopped off its fin, and it's like crying in pain. Actually, I don't know if a shark would cry. It's like writhing in pain.
You get no sympathy from me.
And then when when Brutus hears that horrible screech, it looks down at you, Zeph, and starts to like beat its chest with its great club and points it at you. Grimzod, meanwhile, is gonna take advantage of that, and he's gonna fire. He's gonna fire with his heavy crossbow. What the fuck? Misses, and he's gonna go hide behind this rock. And then it is the Scaver's turn. You didn't quite kill it. It is going to take a bite. This poor little Scaver. I wonder if I got the wrong stat block. So, 15?
That'll miss.
It just sits there. And then Brutus is going to stomp up. And he's going to see you, but then he sees Crux standing there, all dopey
damn
with
it.
his hat on. Just kidding.
With a big target on his head.
We got to stop having him wear that when we go to battle.
He will take 1 smash on you, and then he'll take a smash. Well, hold on here. What's he do? Yeah, take 1 big blast on you, and then another one on Crux. So here's the one on you, Alex. Zeph, 27.
Just got me.
Just hits. All right. So he drops this. That's the attack. I'm sorry. Well, that's the attack for Crux. So that will be 18 points of bludgeoning damage. Just bangs into you, and then he turns around and smashes the other side. Hits Crux, and Crux got hit with the 22. And Crux will take 31
Jeez.
points of damage. This isn't even the final one. So Crux just hits the ground. Oh, does he get like some advantage from his speech or something? I think he got like temporary hit points, right?
Yeah, he had 5 temporary hit points. He had advantage on wisdom saving throws, and then if something does hit him, he has advantage on the
Got
next hit.
Perfect. That's gonna be helpful. All right, and then Ichabod, you're up.
Would Ichabod? What? I guess considering that Ichabod was a scholar before leaving Macopia, what would he know, if anything, about Braxits?
Give me I'll
yeah.
tell you what. Since you have the scholar background, give me a history check.
Okay. Oh, that was almost a 17.
You don't know a lot about them. You do know what you basically see before you. They're big hulking creatures covered in plates.
Okay.
And they are scary and very strong.
I think he is going to, since he doesn't feel confident, he doesn't know how intelligent they are, he's going to cast Enemies Abound on the brown scaver instead, just because that
Cool.
looks dumber.
And that was a correct determination. In fact, is there a possibility to be too dumb for this spell? Never seen this before, but it may be a case where that's happening.
Well, let's see. Oh, I tried to pull it into chat, but I'll just cast it.
Okay.
It automatically
Uh,
succeeds if it's immune to being frightened.
Okay. So there's no limitations. Got it. This is an almost impossible saving throw, but I will try it. Yeah. -5 on its intelligence. It has a 1 intelligence.
Yikes. Okay. So now it can't tell friend from foe.
That's really helpful because the thing it does is very scary. So, and it is coming up soon. Anything else, Ichabod?
I might move just a little bit closer because I have some friends up there. So I think I'll just kind of start maybe hiding behind that giant corpse.
Cool.
That's all.
All right. And Koraz, you're up.
Okay, so yeah, Koraz will shoot this guy with the firebolt first.
Good.
$21.
As you shoot the firebolt, this purple energy just shields around the creature, and it is going to shield itself.
Oh, wordy. Bummer. Okay. Then I will order this guy here to fire his first beam at this guy.
The scaver or the
Yep.
big dude? Okay.
The scabber.
Okay. I don't think there's any way anything bad. I mean, it slices it in half. We're not even gonna roll damage. Just slices the gray scabbard in half, and it like rakes the beast, Brutus, and of course the shield just like bounces off the shield.
Oh, still okay.
No, yeah, just for flavor. Like he sees his pet get destroyed, and it's like whoosh, looks at you, looks at your beholder with rage.
On that note, then I think before firing the second beam, the beholder will probably move here.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yep. Move here.
Yep, and then fire the second beam at this guy.
Got it.
Let's just get a ranged attack here.
Okay.
19.
Hits.
Okay, and then let me get damage thing. There it is. And it'll be +4 on this. So 9.
Nice. So the beam hits the creature. It does make an additional saving throw on its intelligence, but unless it rolls a 20, it rolled a -4. So it still is confused about what's an enemy. Anything else, Koraz?
No. Nope, that's it. Still making wrestling moves and playing it up to the crowd.
Yeah. And the crowd is like sort of like they're like chanting Brutus, Brutus, but they see your beam hit the thing and they're like, ah, just cheering. They don't know your names or anything, but they're like getting into it. And then we get to roll for random. So this critter is either it's going to choose. I'm going to roll a d20. Actually, here, let's do this. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 creatures that are near it. So it's going to roll a d6, and I'll just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll reroll. Okay.
Of course.
Are
Yep.
you kidding me?
Oh yeah, of course.
What the shit?
I guess it just doesn't know what to do.
It's indecisive. Oh my god! It loses its turn. It is so confused.
What the hell? Man, why couldn't that have been a fireball? But all right, 1, 2,
Yeah.
3, 4. Placebo. The creature finally makes up its mind. It comes attacking you, and it is going to try to swallow you.
Oh, I don't want it to swallow me.
Yeah, so it's going to make an attack on you. And it crits.
Well, that'll hit, yeah.
'cause- what the heck? All right, so first of all, there's damage. And then you should give me so you'll take 9 points of damage. I need a dexterity saving throw as it swings by you. Oof, that's a good one to make. So you are not swallowed. So it kind of snaps at you and it tries to grab a hold of your body, but you're able to pull away.
I'll make myself really long and stringy so it can kind of gag me up a bit. We don't eat each other. Stop it.
All right, and then Crux is up. Crux recognizes that this thing has like an extra shield on top of him, so he's going to take an opportunity attack. Well, yeah, he's taking an opportunity attack, which this creature will take. I'm not trying to kill him. I'm just trying. I'm actually trying to get away from the situation.
No, not at all. No.
So he just pounds Crux with the great club, but he gets 5 steps away, and then he is going to fire twice at the scaver.
Ooh.
Oh, got a crit. That's the second crit I've had in 2 turns. So the first damage will be I know, right?
Yeah.
All right. Nice Winston GC. So 31 points of damage. He blows a hole through this thing. It's still going, but it is upset, and I'm not even going to bother rolling the saving throw because it's a well, I don't know, whatever. I'll just roll it twice.
Another 20, because
it would have to be a 20. But no, it does not. It's very bad. So then it is your turn, Placebo. And so what you're noticing, just to be super clear, this guy, the big Brutus dude, he's covered himself in this like shield that protect him from the firebolt. You would recognize it as like a shield spell.
So he's extra tough right now.
He's extra tough. Not invincible, though.
Well, I am facing down this other creature. I will try to hit him.
Got it.
So I will attack.
That'll do.
All right.
You still have a lot. Still alive, just barely.
Okay. I will attack again. Guess I don't have to actually hit the button every time. I could just hit the attack button.
I always do it too.
Yeah.
And that hits and it dies. So
but
you have so far
really
got all 3
it.
kills. How do you want to do this kill? I'm gonna force you
this
to be
one,
creative again.
he tried to swallow me, so I am going to dive inside his mouth, with my quarterstaff like first, and then just kind of like rip it through and try to come out the other end.
Are you not entertained?
The crowd just starts going like, mask, 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 mask.
All right. And then I will come up to this creature. I'm going to use my bonus action and use a key point to do patient defense and take the dodge action.
Got it. All right, Zeph, you're up. Same situation that you saw that I explained to Placebo. You can tell you might be able to hit him, but it's going to be hard.
Ichabod, your ability that you put on us says if we got hit by something, we have advantage on the next attack. Is that what you said?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'll have advantage on the first attack here.
Okay.
And
Could always crit.
okay, Crux went over there. So
Yeah, I forgot to move him. He ran away.
okay. I think I'll reposition myself then and like kind of move around the creature here just to create a little buffer maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'll attack with the scimitar.
Oh, I saw it. I don't know for you, but it looked like it was going to crit.
I thought.
That hits.
All right. I will
Just barely.
this. I'll do the extra damage with the swarm and the hunter's mark. Or bonus action, I'll
Yeah.
put the hunter's mark on it.
That's cool. So total is 19.
19. And then
Let me check something real quick. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, 19.
And then I'll just use my second attack here.
Oh gosh. Okay, that will miss.
Okay. And then that'll be it.
All right. So it gets to Grimzod's turn. I guess he's like just gonna take a shot, and he's just like again like unholy shit. And crit fail. Aren't you glad you brought Grimzod?
He's been so helpful.
All the more. And then it's Brutus's turn. The shield like recedes from him, and he's gonna turn around at you, and he is going to open his mouth and it's really not that great, but I'm gonna do it anyways because it's fun. He's gonna open his mouth and like all this like noxious fumes kind of come out as he's like pointing it up, and he's just gonna go bleh, and like spew it over whoever's in this range. So see how? Oh man, I can't even get everybody. I can't get more than 2 people. That's really sad. Okay, I'm gonna do it to you, Zeph. That was a bad use of that ability, but that's okay because I did it for fun. So I need you to give me an 18 Constitution saving throw. You fail, so you will take this damage. It is acid damage, 33. Are you immune to acid or anything like that? Because you're like a bug guy.
No.
No,
I burn.
Plasmoids
Yeah.
are resistant. Sure you don't
Oh.
want to shoot at me?
Oops. Oh well, I did something sort of smart on accident. Yeah, and so he's like, he just spews this disgusting. It's like more like bile than it is than a true breath attack.
That's my concentration check for the hunter's mark, which I would fail.
Oh
But
yeah,
then he has
Oh.
16.
you don't see that very often. Wow,
No.
that was a really good roll too. And the crowd goes back to chanting Brutus. And Brutus is going to. He's going to stay right there. I think he's
The
okay.
acid breath doesn't count as like an attack, really. Like I can't use my reaction to hit him when he does
No.
that. Okay.
It is. Yeah, it's an action, but it's not an attack.
Okay.
Yep.
Just making sure. I'm trying to find any reason to hit this guy.
You got it. Ichabod.
I am going to unsettling words, Brutus. And then I am going to try Tasha's hideous laughter on this guy because I need him to not be attacking for a while if possible.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Do I get anything for upcasting Tasha's?
I think. I don't know. That's a good question.
I don't think so.
It'll say something if it does.
Yeah, I don't think it does. So I guess I'll just cast it at its normal level.
Cool.
And he'll have to subtract 1d8.
All right. Ooh, and that's not a bad one. That's a pretty decent one. So let's do it. Oh, I'm not gonna do the subtraction. So he's like he pukes, and then I guess he would go prone, right? He pukes and just starts to like laugh, and he's like laughing this big loud laughter, and then just falls on his back and is just like laughing maniacally.
All
The
right.
crowd is confused. They're like, "Yeah, what?" And they're like, not sure what's happening.
That's all. I'm going to stay put.
Cool. There's like some clapping and some like confusion. Koraz. He's now prone, but vulnerable.
Yeah, I mean, I know he gets a savings throw if I damage him, but I'm gonna. So I'm
Does he?
gonna. think, right? Doesn't it maybe wake him up? or something?
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
got a
each time he
bad
takes
wisdom.
damage.
Yeah.
Not a bad wisdom, but
So yeah, I'm gonna shoot a firebolt at him first.
all right.
Old fiery. 13.
That will miss. So it's the dirt next to him.
Okay, and then I will tell the Beholderkin to attack.
Are you gonna shoot both beams at him?
Yep, that one's gonna miss.
Yep.
That one might hit. 17.
Miss.
Yes. Okay. Nothing.
So the two
nothing
beams
to
just
it.
like firing in the dirt, just dirt spraying everywhere while this creature's laughing.
Wow, it's funny. While he was up, I could hit him. Now he's down.
Crux is gonna do the same thing. He's just gonna fire with his musket twice. And would this be a disadvantage?
Should be if he's prone, right?
Oh yeah.
And,
Well,
if it's advantage.
Didn't matter earlier, and it doesn't matter now because he would have. Well, no, he would have hit with advantage. But anyways, so he fires off just 2 blasts, and they miss. And then Placebo, you see him. He is prone. He is vulnerable. He is laughing at his
Yes,
own.
well, I don't think it's funny. He's been hurting my friends, so I am going to try to hit him. And I am using my staff, so I get advantage.
Yeah. Hit.
It shows up faster for you than it does for me. It feels like
Interesting.
my dice kind of lag. So 10 bludgeoning.
Got it.
I will attack again. I swear I'm pressing the buttons.
I believe you. Hit.
Okay. So damage.
And I'll roll
Alright.
the whether he stops laughing afterwards.
Okay. And then I would like to do an unarmed strike as a bonus action.
Okay.
Pushing those buttons. Ooh,
That'll hit.
double. All right. And let's see. I would like to use my Hand of Harm to add extra damage to that hit.
Okay.
So I have to. It has a weird scaled way of mercy. I wonder if I hit that, if it'll just do it. Oh yeah. So 6 more.
6 more or 8 more?
Or 8 more. Sorry. Yeah, my glasses, bifocals.
No, you're good.
Can't read numbers.
So I'll do his. He gets 3 saves on wisdom.
Yes, I hit him 3 times.
All right. And he'll fail. And oh, now I get terrible rolls. Do I have a DM reroll or anything? No.
No.
So yeah, so he just keeps laughing and laughing. He's just like laughing at your attacks, like they're tickling him. Like he's like.
And I'm
pulling
going
his
to
leg back.
try to break ribs as I'm hitting because, why not? That seems like a really good thing to do as he's laughing on the ground.
All right, Zeph, you see the Brutus is prone and laughing. You've lost your hunter's mark.
Lost my hunter's mark. Oh, gee whiz. Well, what a day. All right, let's take a couple shots. He's prone, so advantage is good. 25.
Hits.
All right, we'll do my swarmy swarm on this one. Get a little boost from my children. So 13
right.
damage.
Cool.
And second attack. 18.
Just hits.
And 10 points.
Wow, now you're hitting the good rolls.
And then he's gonna say a little, almost like prayer. Placebo, you've probably never seen him do this, but he kind of does a little sign. He kind of looks to the sky, and all of a sudden, between the two of them, between him and Placebo, there's like a little. It's like a little thry-crane with butterfly wings, It's a spitting image of Zeph's wife is right there. And he goes and he like runs under it. She's got like a little like wand or something. And there's like a little sprinkle of like magical essence that showers down on him. And so he gets like a little bit of a rejuvenation as he casts Healing Spirit there in that spot.
Well, she's very nice.
I'm a little late picking the kids up. Sorry about that. We're a little tied up at the moment. We'll be back as soon as we can, though. Let me see. I'm trying to cast this.
Are you implying she's speaking to you from the afterlife?
I don't know. It's just the
the
form that the Healing Spirit is taking. He misses. He's been out on the road too long. He's losing it.
Oh man.
Their love is so strong that she's with him in spirit, even when they're miles apart.
Yeah.
Light years apart. It's beautiful.
So basically you can run through this thing once on your turn and get a little bit of healing.
Oh yeah. That's actually a really good spell for the situation.
So-
Grimzod's gonna fire a crossbow bolt. Oh, I see you move in, move out. Smart. And he misses. And then it is Brutus's turn. Now, does Brutus get a save on his turn?
That's a good question. Let me take a
At
gander.
the end of its turn, it can make another wisdom saving throw. Oh my god, you guys may kill this with the stupid laughing spell.
When
Are you
Tasha's
kidding
works, it's beautiful, but
Yeah.
it doesn't often work.
me? It failed again. You're kidding me. This thing is so
funny.
beastly. All right, well, let's go one more round. Let's see what happens. Ichabod.
All right. I know you just got a little bit of refreshing there, Zeph, but how bad are you looking?
I'm pretty bad.
All right, I'm going to do a healing word. I'll do a 3rd level healing word, even though I feel like healing word's always kind of a joke. But
It
every little
makes
bit
the
helps.
difference.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right. So healing word, 3rd level.
So they should have done this guy as the first fight, because if the Brogues take you to 0 hit points, they rip you into 4 parts, so you instantly die.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. and they
12
can do
more.
like 40 damage.
12 more
12
HP.
more.
P to you, Zeph.
Well, that brings me to
It's
about
like a-
half, so that's no joke there.
That was like a healing sentence.
It's 3 or 4.
And then I want to hold Vicious Mockery. If he stops laughing, is my action. I want to fire a Vicious Mockery at him.
Got it. Well, can you hold an action after doing a bonus action? I guess
Yeah.
there's no reason why not, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah. Cool. All right, Koraz, you're up. And so this time, yeah, you'll have disadvantage on your laser beams, but feel free to fire away. He's looking pretty bad too. Like you can see this like black blood is like oozing out of like several cracks in his armor.
You said advantage?
Disadvantage because he's on the ground.
Disadvantage.
Yeah. You know, that's a tactic you should use more like as a player, like intentionally going prone, you know?
If someone's shooting at you, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm shooting at you. That'll be a
Wouldn't
miss on that one. Yeah. Go give me your
2 more. Gee. Okay, I think that one.
that one is a miss. So the beams again, they're just kind of like slicing up the dirt. Can't quite triangulate.
It's okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna stay far, far away from that thing.
Yeah, that thing could kill you in one hit. So, you're making the right decision. I look at your hit points. I was like, oh god, Koraz better be smart. He'll miss. Yeah, the big forearm dudes. They have this move that they catch you. It's called Hideous Rend. You get grappled. The next turn, you take like 40 something damage, and if it go to 0, you're instantly dead. And I was like, if they catch Koraz, I might kill Koraz. But anyways, Crux will miss both his shots. Placebo.
All right. Well, I want to run through the sprinkle dust and back.
Let's see. You want me to roll it?
Yeah, because I don't know what I'm supposed to roll. Sorry.
6
Ooh,
points.
thank you, Mrs. Zeph.
All right.
Right. Oops. Okay. I'll have to fix that. All right, and then I'll just do some attacks.
Okay. These are advantaged, of course.
Yes. Come on, come on.
Hit.
All right. Oh, sorry, that threw me off. So
My
I
bad.
thought,
Yeah, I'm gonna roll
yeah,
the save this time. 'Cause it'll matter.
Okay, so 8
so-
bludgeoning for the first
Okay.
hit, and then I will roll the second attack.
That's a hit. I'm rolling the save. Go ahead and roll the
All right.
damage.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Finally.
Well, he
He'll
doesn't
take the
think it's so
7
funny
points.
anymore, huh?
He
All
stops
right.
laughing. That last one, you get him really good, and like it hurts. You get him right in the
Ooh.
ribs, like you said.
Yeah.
Everyone hears a loud crack, and then quiet, and then roar.
And I'll go,
Mask, mask.
let's try this one more time. This is my unarmed strike.
Hit.
Come on, you can do it for 8 more bludgeoning.
All right. Oh, that hurts a lot. Oh god.
If he stopped laughing, I'm unleashing vicious mockery.
That's right. So he stopped laughing. So give me the vicious mockery.
So he has to do another wisdom saving throw.
You're torturing him. You're torturing him. Okay.
Trying.
Yeah, and it's working. Okay.
So he's gonna
Fails.
take 5 psychic damage, and he has disadvantage on his next attack roll, which is
Cool.
more important.
Yep. All right, now Zeph. He stopped laughing and he's looking real serious. He starts to kind of like get himself up.
All right. I'm going to dip into this for the last. I forgot they nerfed this, so this is the last. It can only
Wouldn't
this
have
3
taken
times.
it then. Sorry.
What?
So I get. Yeah, it used to be that you could just do it as many times as you could within the minute.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I think Tasha's maybe, or maybe even Xanthar.
I think Xanathar is when they introduced it, and then they changed it at some point because admittedly the original was like just not balanced.
Yeah, I mean it sucks for outside of combat because like you can just like you can do the conga.
That's
line,
what people do. Yeah.
I see.
But inside combat, I feel like whatever, it makes sense.
So I'll take. I guess this is the last time I could take advantage of being prone. So I'll take the 2 attacks. Oh wow. Okay, so first one misses.
Yeah.
Second attack will hit.
Yep.
So here's the damage, and then the swarm does an additional 4. So 13 points on that.
Okay.
Oh shoot. Bonus action. I'll try to hit him with my offhand attack.
Okay.
$24 to hit,
Yeah, that hits.
and then just a d6, so 4 points of damage.
Got it. Man, you guys are ripping him up, but he's still hanging.
He's gonna do it though. Grimzod, he's gonna do it.
Come on, Grimzod.
I mean,
Run
Grimzod,
up there,
he's like,
Grimzod.
he's like, I think he's angry now. And he's gonna shoot a arrow and miss miserably. But he's like trying. He's like hanging in there. And then Brutus is going to stand up.
All good things must come to an end.
Yeah. And he looks real mad, and he's dropping like this black blood pouring out of his mouth, and he is going to I don't know if his acid breath recharge, but I guess it doesn't really matter because y'all are positioned well. He is going to great club each of you. Actually, I think he's going to focus fire. Who is he going to focus fire on? He's going to focus fire on one of you. And I'm going to roll a d4. If it's odd, it's Alex. If it's even, it's Robyn. Alex, here we go. Great club number 1.
Disadvantage.
Great club number 2. Oh, disadvantage.
that's right.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, that'll miss.
Okay. And then great club number 2, which is not a disadvantage. 19.
Oh, 19 hits. That's my AC.
Wow.
Yow.
So he'll drop 20 points on you.
Well, and I will use my sentinel reaction to try to hit him with my quarterstaff.
Oh, I forgot about that. I should try to hit you instead.
I did
Nope.
not.
That'll miss. And
Great.
Ichabod, it's back to you.
How badly wounded does this guy look?
He's bleeding out of his mouth and all different spots in his body where ribs have been cracked and pushed through, and he looks pretty
I feel
rough.
like I gotta conserve my spell points to bring people up if they fall. So I'm gonna do another vicious mockery on him. Wisdom saving throw.
Got it. I'm gonna pretend like this was Tasha's hideous laughter again. It would have worked, but does damage anyways.
All right, so yep, I'll roll damage, and he'll have disadvantage on his next roll.
Cool.
6. Yay.
Pretty psychic. dice.
Stop laughing at me.
And just one step back because he's like,
All
I
right.
don't know what's gonna happen.
Cool. Koraz, you see him now. Your beams are
Nice.
triangulated.
Working on it. Well, hopefully
Fuck
they're
'em up.
triangulated. We'll find out here in a second. 18.
He's gonna throw his shield up.
Poor Koraz.
It's like that's exactly his AC, so it becomes worth it at that point. So shield comes back up. He's got +5 AC.
Okay. So
It's
then,
hittable.
yep. So then the Beholderkin will fire here twice. That's gonna miss. That might hit. 23.
Yep, that's the number.
Nice.
Okay.
Woohoo.
Big number, big number.
Mm-hmm.
Get to that weird roll. It's 1d8 plus 3 plus 4. So there'll be 4. Oh, jeez. All right. So 8.
There we go. 8. That's still pretty good, even for a 1. That's a nice hit. So, beams burst through the shield. Crux is going to just fire twice with his musket. He's like, "I'm almost out of ammo."
Shut.
He's getting the crits tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, fucking Crux. Okay. He gets a crit. The second one misses, but the first one gets through, and just this pellet like blasts off part of the creature's jaw, like teeth go shattering onto the ground in front of you, Placebo. And it
Ooh.
is your turn.
All right. I will swoop and pick up one of those teeth so I can try and hit him with it later. But first of all, I will try to attack with my quarterstaff.
That's a hit. Oh no, it's not. No,
No, 'cause-
it's not a hit because of his shield.
The shield. Okay, I will
Yeah.
try again.
Yeah.
That hits.
That one will hit.
Okay.
8
I didn't
bludgeoning.
even knock anyone off their feet yet. I am so disappointed. I thought I was going to kill you actually when this was put together. I was like, man, really?
So round 3.
And then unarmed strike, I'm kind of absorbing the tooth as I, punch with my unarmed strike. So it's
Yeah,
we're gonna see if I can hit him with his own tooth.
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah.
Tooth
All right.
powers your fist. It gives an extra bit of weight, and you just punch right through that shield. And
And
you don't
Let's
kill
see.
him.
I do want to add another point though of my hands of harm.
Okay.
So I don't know if I can just roll it from there. If that'll roll it. No, that doesn't roll it.
You can roll the
Oh.
damage.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. There it did. It put it in there. Okay. Couldn't remember how I did it before. So there we
Nice.
go. 4.
How
6
do you
more.
want to do this?
Oh, with his own tooth. I'm like, you think it's funny to sit and laugh at us. Now you're going to eat yourself. And then I'll just kind of shove the tooth right back into him.
Yeah, so you punch through, you have that tooth, and then you just like burrow into his body, and then the tooth like poof, like piston fires out of your arm, and just poof, and it like bings around inside him a little bit, and then you see it
Like
like fire at
pinball.
the top of his head. Yeah, it's like bouncing off of stuff, and it pops out of his head, and a little bit of pink brain matter comes with him, and it just like just falls straight back, and you hear someone go Brutus, Brutus,
It's
and then they go.
more.
Mask,
He said
mask,
you can
mask,
get
mask.
more.
And then the Mercane Vocath is like, again, slow clap, but projected loudly. I don't know what to say. You killed Brutus. He was my favorite, but there is one more. The greatest horror you could ever run into in space, in wild space. The great unknown, the most terrifying creature that there is. And he claps, and a creature appears. Summoned in front of you, it is
Spectre.
No.
A Tarask. You thought you were away from him.
It could be the trash. That would be great. So it summons right in the middle of the arena, and it's a little space guppy. It drops out, and the crowd is like, and they start to look at it. They're confused, and then they start to laugh. Like the whole crowd is laughing, and you can see Vocath is looking very confused and frustrated and angry. And he turns around and he like grabs like one of his assistants and starts to shake him. He's like, "No, not the damn space guppy. Something even worse. Try it again." And he claps, and this time, for real, the specter comes out. But this time, the ground rumbles as this teleportation effect takes place, and you see a gigantic centipede-shaped creature appear and swallow the guppy and just
I wanted
passing.
him for a pet.
No, the guppy's gone. It just goes and it just clumps down on the guppy and starts to like swirl around in the sand. And you see this gargantuan, basically centipede, with all these teeth and mandibles clicking in its long, spindly, sharp arms in the front, just like tapping all over the ground. And it's a big old bug eyes, bigger than your body, regards you. And we are going to stop there because we will not finish this fight in the near future. So let's go ahead and take a pause. I think that's a good stopping point, kind of a good cliffhanger for the session.
It's beautiful.
When we come back, it's beautiful. When we come back, next time in Spelljammer, we're going to see, this and the Thrycreen. You're like, oh, look at that. Look at that thing.
Look at
Your
the
wife was
antennas
just
on
here.
that one. Whoa. Compound eyes for days.
I think we need to sign off before on that. That's a perfect line. So next time we'll
Just
be
glad
picking
the
up.
healing spirit's gone.
I know. Your wife was just here.
And then you, by the way, too, I guess you would hear the crowd starts to chant like excitedly, like the chants of mask like go away, and you hear Gorma, Gorma,
Ooh.
Gorma, and everyone's like stomping the feet, and like people are excitedly talking to each other, like, wow, Gorma's here. And we will be facing off with Gorma next time in Spelljammer. So thank you all for the game tonight. I know it was a big combat slog, but you're doing really well. Like, I'm very impressed with how the party's performed. So congrats to the party, and we'll be picking up next time in 2 weeks A couple quick things. If you are not yet hanging out in the Discord, please come hang out in the Discord. It is a cool place to be. It's also where we recruit for our community campaign, which is ongoing all the time. Well, not all the time, but quite often it's going. And if you are interested in catching some more games, we have a pretty good schedule this week. Tomorrow is going to be a simulcast where we're going to be casting 20 Sides Gaming, which is going to be Alex playing Temple Elemental Evil, which I had never seen before. I played Baldur's Gates. I had played Icewind Dale, Neverwinter Nights. I never played Temple Elemental Evil. It's really good. Like actually, like legitimately enjoying that game, watching it, especially if you like turn-based versus like the real time with pause. And it seems, I don't know how super faithful it is. The parts I've seen have been pretty impressed with how faithful, like you see actual characters and everything. Anyways, we're simulcasting that on Tuesday, or I guess, what's the term? Hosting it? Whatever. I don't know Twitch, but you get the idea. Wednesday is going to be Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen, which is a really cool campaign with that sort of like old school high fantasy kind of vibe, which is really fun. Several people here are in that game, and check it out on Wednesday. And the DM there is Corey. He's a really awesome DM. So go check him out. Thursday is Dark Tower. It's a Goodman Games conversion. It's 5th edition. And DJ, I always want to say DJ Casey. Casey,
I do too.
DJ Coyle. Anyways, Casey's the DM there. If you ever see him around, he's playing his game on Thursday. And then Friday is some community campaign, and there's going to be some Verbabonk, which makes you sad because I failed, and my contribution to the community campaign was going to be Verbabonk, and I just didn't have the time for it, unfortunately. So someone else is doing that, and that's going to be cool. I'm excited to see how that plays out. But that is it for 20 Sides, and that is all we have. Alex, do you want to take us on a raid?
Yeah, we'll go and we'll try to see some new folks here. We'll go and pass the raid over to 3 death saves and see what they're up to.
Ooh, nice. Like the name. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye.